Changing camera settings. 1. Touch the setting you want to adjust, then select the desired value/setting. Once the settings menu is displayed, touch to select the desired value/setting as needed. When the slider appears, drag the slider left/right or touch the slash buttons to adjust the desired value. 2. Touch K. Using assistance functions. 1. Touch A, assistance functions, and then turn assistance functions on/off, or select the desired assistance function. 2. Touch K. Changing recording settings. 1. Touch AE, recording settings. The recording settings menu will be displayed. There are 3 pages that can be switched by swiping left and right. 2. Select the desired menu setting and then select the desired option. 3. Touch X direct setting mode, FUNC button. You can adjust main camera functions: white balance, aperture, ISO speed/gain and shutter speed using the FUNC button, direct setting mode. This section will explain the basic operation of the direct setting mode. For details about each function, refer to the respective section on the manual. 1. Press the FUNC button. The on-screen display of the selected function will be highlighted in orange. Press the FUNC button repeatedly or push the joystick left/right to select a different function. 2. Push the joystick up/down to select the desired value or white balance mode. 3. Press Set. The selected value/mode will be set and direct setting mode will end. The on-screen display of the selected function will return to normal. Notes: the camera will automatically end the direct setting mode in the following cases: if no operation was performed for more than 6 seconds, if the FUNC button is pressed while selecting the shutter speed, if the menu or a status screen was opened. Drag the slider to select the desired value, adjusting camera and recording settings. 52. If you set an assignable button to white balance, iris, ISO/gain or shutter, A117, you can press the button to enter direct setting mode with the respective function highlighted. 53. Video recording configuration, video format, system frequency, resolution, and frame rate. Video recording configuration, video format, system frequency, resolution, and frame rate. When recording media, you can set the video configuration used for primary clips with the following procedures. Select the main recording format, video format, color sampling, bit depth, primary resolution, frame rate, and bit rate settings that best match your creative needs. Available options for some settings may change depending on previous selections for other settings. See the following tables for a summary. For details about sub-recording clips and audio, refer to sub-recording clips, A56, and recording audio, A92, respectively. XF605. The camera uses a variable bitrate, VBR. Intra-frame options compress the image after analyzing each frame separately and are more appropriate for editing. Long GOP options compress the image after analyzing also changes across a group of pictures and offer better compression, smaller data size. MP4 notes. For details on the signal output from each terminal, refer to video output configuration, A141. Main recording format, main resolution, bitrate method, bitrate, system frequency / frame rate 59.94 Hz, 50.00 Hz, 59.94p, 59.94 I, 29.97p, 23.98p, 50.00p, 50.00 I, 25.00p. XF605 YCC 422 10-bit 3840 x 2160 intra-frame 600 PSU. 500 Mbps, U, 410 Mbps, UU, U300 Mbps, U, 250 Mbps, U240 Mbps, U, long GOP 260 PSU, U, 160 Mbps, UU, U1920 x 1080 intra-frame 310 PSU, U, 160 Mbps, UUU. UU long GOP 50 PSU of a 1280 x 720 long GOP 2 form PSU, U, main recording format, main resolution, system frequency / frame rate 59.94 Hz, 50.00 Hz. 59.94p 29.97p 23.98p 50.00p 25.00p MP4, HEVC, YCC4 2210-bit MP4, HEVC, YCC4 2010-bit MP4, H.264, YCC4 28-bit 3840x2160UU1920x1080UU1280x720U, U video recording configuration, video format, system frequency. Resolution and frame rate 54. Selecting the system frequency. You can change the system frequency also in media mode if you want to play back clips from a card recorded with a different system frequency setting. 1. Select A recording/media setup system frequency. 2. Select the desired option. The camera will reset and restart in the selected mode. Selecting the main recording format. Select the combination of video format, color sampling, and bit depth for primary clips. 1. Select A recording/media setup main rec format. You can also adjust the setting using direct touch control, A50. 2. Select the desired option. Selecting the resolution for primary clips. 1. Select A recording/media setup main resolution. You can also adjust the setting using direct touch control, A50. 2. Select the desired option. Selecting the frame rate for primary clips. 1. Select A recording/media setup frame rate. You can also adjust the setting using direct touch control, A50. 2. Select the desired option. Selecting the bit rate for primary clips. Select the bit rate when the primary clip has the following recording format, resolution, and frame rates. 1. Select A recording/media setup bit rate. Operation by direct touch control is also possible. A50. 2. Select the desired option. Main recording format. Main resolution frame rate bitrate XFAVC YCC4 2210-bit 3840x2160 intraframe 29.97p 410 Mbps, 300 Mbps 25.00p 410 Mbps, 250 Mbps 23.98p 410 Mbps, 240 Mbps 55 proxy clips while recording a primary clip on an SD card A. You can simultaneously record the same scene as a proxy clip on another SD card B. Because proxy clips have smaller files, they are suitable for offline editing. You can also use direct touch control to perform this function, A50. Video configuration of proxy clips. 1. Insert an SD card into each card slot, slot A for the main clip, slot B for the proxy clip. 2. Set the main recording format to XFAVC or MP4, H.264, A54. 3. Select A recording/media setup second card rec functions main/proxy rec. 4. Select A recording/media setup rec format desired option. Only available when the main recording format is set to XFAVC. 5. Select A recording/media setup resolution/bitrate desired option. Availability depends on the combined settings for the main recording or the proxy recording. 6. Select AE recording/media setup proxy rec color conversion desired option. 7. Press the rec button to start recording. Proxy clips will be recorded simultaneously with the primary clips. Options conform to custom picture, no change is applied. BT.709 When the gamma curve component of the gamma/color space setting in the custom picture file is set to BT.709 normal, BT.709 standard or BT.709 YDR, no change is applied. When it is set to a different option, it is changed to BT.709 YDR and the color space component changes to BT.709. If the original gamma was set to HDR, you can adjust the brightness settings with the scent monitoring setup gain for HDR SDRCONV setting, A154. Notes if the recording of the primary clip stops during simultaneous recording, recording of the proxy clip will stop as well. If there is no card inserted in the slot used for the primary clip, only the proxy clip will be recorded. Primary clip video configuration of proxy clips: main recording format, main resolution, frame rate, recording format and resolution / bit rate, frame rate, XFAVC YCC 428-bit MP4, H.264, YCC 428-bit XFAVC YCC 422 10-bit 3840 x2160, 1920 x 1080 59.94p, 50.00p 1920 x 1080/35 mbps long GOP 1920 x 1080/9 mbps, 1280 x 720/9 mbps, 1280 x 720/6 mbps same as main clip 29.97p, 25.00p, 23.98p 1920 x 1080/24 mbps long GOP 1920 x 10805 9.94i, 50.00i 1280 x 72005 9.94p, 50.00p 1280 x 720/17 mbps long GOP 1280 x 720/9 mbps, 1280 x 720/6 mbps. MP4, H.264, YCC 428-bit 3840 x 2160, 1920 x 1080 59.94p, 50.00p, 1920 x 1080/9 mbps, 1280 x 720/9 mbps, 1280 x 720/6 mbps same as main clip 29.97p, 25.00p, 23.98p 1280 x 72005 9.94p, 50.00p, 1280 x 720/6 mbps subrecording clips 56 subrecording clips while recording a primary clip on an SD card A, you can simultaneously record the same scene on SD card B. See the following table for more details on the video configuration for subrecording clips. For more details on audio, see Recording Audio, A92. You can also use direct touch control to perform this function, A50. Video configuration for subrecording clips: primary clip, XFAVC, 1 subrecording frame rate is the same as that of the primary clip. 2 only 59.94i/50.00i can be selected. 359.94i/50.00i can also be selected. Primary clip video configuration of subrecording clips: 1 subrecording format, resolution, and bit rate. Main recording format, main resolution, frame rate, bit rate, XFAVC YCC 422 10-bit MP4, H.264, YCC 428-bit XFAVC YCC 422 10-bit 3840 x 2160 intraframe 59.94p, 50.00p 600 mbps 500 mbps 1920 x 1080/310 mbps intraframe 1920 x 1080/160 mbps intraframe 2 1920 x 1080/50 mbps long GOP 3 1280 x 720/24 mbps long GOP 1920 x 1080/35 mbps 1280 x 720/8 mbps 29.97p, 25.00p 410 mbps 3840 x 2160/300. 250 mbps intraframe 3840 x 2160/160 mbps long GOP 1920 x 1080/160 mbps intraframe 1920 x 1080/50 mbps long GOP 3840 x 2160/150 mbps 1920 x 1080/35 mbps 23.98p 3840 x 2160/240 mbps intraframe 3840 x 2160/160 mbps long GOP 1920 x 1080/160 mbps intraframe 1920 x 1080/50 mbps long GOP 29.97p, 25.00p 23.98p 300 mbps 250 mbps 240 mbps 3840 x 2160/160 mbps long GOP 1920 x 1080/160 mbps intraframe 1920 x 1080/50 mbps long GOP 59.94p 50.00p 260 mbps 1920 x 1080/50 mbps long GOP 31280 x 720/24 mbps long GOP 1920 x 1080/35 mbps 1280 x 720/8 mbps 29.97p 25.00p 23.98p 160 mbps 1920 x 1080/50 mbps long GOP 3840 x 2160/150 mbps 1920 x 1080/35 mbps 1920 x 1080 intraframe 59.94p 50.00p 310 mbps 1920 x 1080/50 mbps long GOP 1280 x 720/24 mbps long GOP 1920 x 1080/35 mbps 1280 x 720/8 mbps 29.97p 25.00p 23.98p 160 mbps 1920 x 1080/50 mbps long GOP 1920 x 1080/35 mbps 59.94i 50.00i long GOP 59.94p 50.00p 50 mbps 1280 x 720/24 mbps long GOP 1920 x 1080/35 mbps 1280 x 720/8 mbps 29.97p 25.00p 23.98p 1920 x 1080/35 mbps 1280 x 720 long GOP 59.94p 50.00p 24 mbps 1280 x 720/8 mbps 57 sub-recording clips video configuration for sub-recording clips, primary clip, MP4, 1 sub-recording frame rate is the same as that of the primary clip. 2 only available when the frame rate is 59.94p/50.00p 1 insert an SD card into each card slot, slot A for the main clip, slot B for the sub-recording clip. 2 select AE recording/media setup second card rec functions main/sub rec. 3 select AE recording/media setup rec format desired option. 4 select AE recording/media setup resolution/bitrate desired option. 5 select AE recording/media setup frame rate desired option. Frame rate can only be selected with some main recording formats. 6 press the rec button to start recording. Proxy clips will be recorded simultaneously with the primary clips. Notes if there is no card inserted in the slot used for the primary clip, only the sub-recording clip will be recorded. Primary clip video configuration of sub-recording clips 1 sub-recording format, resolution, and bitrate main recording format main resolution frame rate bitrate MP4, HEVC, YCC 422 10-bit MP4, HEVC, YCC 420 10-bit MP4, H.264, YCC 428-bit MP4, HEVC, YCC 422 10-bit 3840 x 2160 59.94p, 50.00p 225 mbps 1920 x 1080/50 mbps, 1280 x 720/12 mbps 1920 x 1080/35 mbps, 1280 x 720/9 mbps 29.97p, 25.00p, 23.98p 135 mbps 1920 x 1080/50 mbps 3840 x 2160/100 mbps 1920 x 1080/35 mbps 1920 x 1080 59.94p 50.00p 50 mbps 1280 x 720/12 mbps 1280 x 720/9 mbps 1920 x 1080/35 mbps 29.97p, 25.00p, 23.98p 1280 x 720/5 9.94p, 50.00p 12 mbps, 1280 x 720/9 mbps MP4, HEVC, YCC 420 10-bit 3840 x 2160 59.94p, 50.00p 170 mbps 1920 x 1080/35 mbps, 1280 x 720/9 mbps, 29.97p, 25.00p. 23.98p 100 mbps 1920 x 1080/35 mbps 1920 x 10805 9.94p, 50.00p 35 mbps 1280 x 720/9 mbps MP4, H.264, YCC 428-bit 3840 x 2160 59.94p, 50.00p, 29.97p, 25.00p, 23.98p 150 mbps, 1920 x 1080/35 mbps, 1280 x 720/8 mbps to 1920 x 10805 9.94p, 50.00p 35 mbps 1280 x 720/8 mbps shutter speed 58 shutter speed. You can set the shutter speed according to the shooting conditions. For example, you may want to set slower shutter speeds in darker environments. The camera offers the following modes. You can also perform this function remotely using browser remote on a connected network device, A183. Speed allows you to set the shutter speed in fractions of a second. You can select the increment to use when adjusting the shutter speed between 1/3 stop and 1/4 stop increments. Angle, you can set the shutter angle to determine the shutter speed. Clear scan, set the frequency in order to record CRT computer monitors without displaying black bands or flicker on the screen. Slow, you can set slower shutter speeds to obtain brighter recordings in places with insufficient lighting. This mode is not available when slow and fast motion recording is activated. Auto, the camera automatically adjusts the shutter speed based on the picture's brightness. Off, the camera uses a standard shutter speed based on the frame rate. Changing the shutter speed mode, set the shutter switch to on and then slide the switch toward cell to change the shutter speed mode. Repeatedly pushing the switch toward cell will change the shutter speed mode in the following order: speed, angle, clear scan, slow, automatic. When set to automatic, E will appear to the left of the shutter speed value on the screen. The displayed shutter speed value will change according to the automatic adjustment. Available shutter speeds, the individual setting options that can be selected will change depending on the frame rate used. 1. Only when AE recording/media setup main rec format is set to XFAVC YCC 422 10-bit and main resolution is set to 1920 x 1080 intraframe or 1920 x 1080 long GOP. 2. Available values depend on the recording frame rate or the slow and fast motion recording frame rate. 3. Not available when slow and fast motion recording is activated, or when run VF at X2 speed is set to on. Shutter speed mode, system frequency/frame rate 59.94 Hz 50.00 Hz 59.94p/59.94 I 129.97p 23.98p 50.00p/50.00 I 125.00p speed to 1/3 stop increments 1/1 to January 2000, 34 setting options in total. 1/4 stop increments 1/1 to January 2000, 59.94 Hz, 47 setting options in total, 50.00 Hz, 45 setting options in total, angle 2360.00 degree, 240.00 degrees, 180.00 degrees, 120.00 degrees, 90.00 degrees, 60.00 degrees, 45.00 degrees, 30.00 degrees, 22.50 degrees, 15.00 degrees, 11.25 degrees. Also angle values equivalent to the following shutter speeds: 1/120, 1/100, 1/60th, 1/50th, 1/40th, 3/100, 1/30th, 1/25th. Clear scan 223.98 Hz to 2003 Hz, slow 31/4, 1/8, 1/15th, 1/301/4, 1/8, 1/150, 1/3, 1/6, 1/120, 1/3, 1/6, 1/12, 1/250, 1/3, 1/6, 1/12 off 21/601/301/240, 1/501/2559. Shutter speed. Changing the shutter speed value. When the shutter speed mode is set to a mode other than off or automatic, you can set the shutter speed manually. 1. Select the shutter speed mode, A58. 2. For speed only, select V camera setup shutter increment 1/3 stop or 1/4 stop. 3. Adjust the shutter speed, angle value, or clear scan frequency using the direct setting mode, A51. You can also use direct touch control, A50. Notes: closing down the aperture when recording under bright conditions may cause the picture to appear soft or out of focus. The following measures may be effective in avoiding the loss of sharpness due to diffraction using a denser ND filter, A62. Using a faster shutter speed. When the camera is set to full auto mode, A42, or you activate infrared recording, A112, the shutter speed mode will be set to automatic. If you activate infrared recording, the upper limit for the shutter speed will be 1/250, when V camera setup high sensitivity mode is set to off, or 1/500, when set to on. When the shutter speed mode is set to slow, bright red, green or blue dots may appear on the screen. In such case, use a faster shutter speed or select a lower ISO speed or gain value, A60. When an RCV100 remote controller is connected to the camera, you can change the shutter speed mode with the remote controller's shutter select button and the shutter speed value with the remote controller's shutter I/I buttons. Flicker reduction. You can perform the following procedure to have the camera automatically detect and reduce flicker. Select V camera setup flicker reduction automatic. Notes: when recording under artificial light sources such as fluorescent, mercury or halogen lamps, the screen may flicker depending on the shutter speed. You may be able to avoid flicker by setting the shutter speed mode to speed and the shutter speed to a value matching the frequency of the local electrical system, 1/50* or 1/100 for 50 Hz systems, 1/60th, or 1/120 for 60 Hz systems. Asterisk may not be available depending on the frame rate. When the frame rate is 23.98p and cent monitoring setup run VF at X2 speed is set to on, flicker reduction cannot be used. Using slow shutter mode when recording in dark surroundings, you can obtain a brighter picture by using slow shutter mode. You can also use this mode when you wish to add certain effects to your recordings, such as blurring the background during panning shots or recording a moving subject with an after-image trail. Image quality may not be as good as when using faster shutter speeds in brighter surroundings. ISO speed/gain 60 ISO speed/gain. You may want to adjust the brightness of the image according to the shooting conditions. You can choose between manual and automatic settings. The camera offers 3 gain levels, L/M/H, that you can select simply by changing the position of the ISO/gain switch. By choosing automatic settings you can also set the maximum sensitivity value. By choosing manual settings you can change the ISO speed or gain value to adjust the sensitivity of the sensor. You can also perform this function remotely using browser remote on a connected network device, A179, 100, and 83. Available ISO speed and gain settings: 1 AE recording/media setup main rec format setting. 2 V camera setup ISO/gain setting. 3 available values will depend on the gamma curve component of the gamma/color space setting in the custom picture file. Wide DR or Canon log 3, ISO 500 to ISO 12800, minus 2.0 dB to 21.0 dB. PQ or HLG, ISO 320 to ISO 12800, minus 6.0 dB to 21.0 dB. BT.709 normal or BT.709 standard, ISO 200 to ISO 12800, minus 6.0 dB to 21.0 dB. 4 only when using the gain boost setting, A119. Automatic ISO speed/gain. The sensitivity is automatically adjusted according to the subject. You can also set a sensitivity limit. Set the AGC switch to on. The camera will adjust the gain automatically to obtain an appropriate exposure. The gain value set automatically by the camera will appear at the bottom of the screen with an icon next to it. The sensitivity limit is ISO 500, minus 2.0 dB, when the gamma/color space setting in the custom picture file is set to wide DR or Canon log 3, ISO 320, minus 6.0 dB, when set to PQ or HLG, and ISO 200, minus 6.0 dB, when set to BT.709 normal or BT.709 standard. Setting an automatic ISO limit. By setting an ISO limit in automatic mode, you can curb the amount of noise and keep a dark ambient. When the camera is set to full auto mode, A42, or infrared recording is activated, A112, the limit will be set to off/ISO 12800, when V-camera setup ISO/gain is set to ISO, or off/21.0 dB, when set to gain. Select V-camera setup limit for auto mode. Desired option. Main recording format 1 ISO/gain 2 increment normal range 3 XF605 MP4 ISO 1 stop 200, 400, 800, 1600, 3200, 6400, 12800 1/3 stop 200, 250, 320, 400, 500, 640, 800, 1000, 1250, 1600, 2000, 2500, 3200, 4000, 5000, 6400, 8000, 10,000, 12,800. Gain normal, 3 dB, dash 6.0 dB to 21.0 dB, 36.0 dB. For fine, 0.5 dB, 61 ISO speed/gain. Manual ISO speed/gain value you can set beforehand 3 gain levels and then select quickly which one to apply simply by changing the position of the ISO/gain switch. 1. Set the AGC switch to off. 2. Set the ISO/gain switch to the position you want to adjust, L, M, or H. Setting the ISO speed/gain value for the ISO/gain switch. 1. Select V-camera setup ISO/gain ISO or gain. 2. Depending on your previous selection, select V-camera setup ISO/gain increment. Desired option. 3. Select V-camera setup desired ISO/gain setting. Changing the ISO/gain value. 1. Set the ISO/gain switch to the position you want to adjust, L, M, or H. 2. Adjust the ISO speed or gain value using the direct setting mode, A51. You can also use direct touch control, A50. Using the high sensitivity mode. Using the high sensitivity mode allows for brighter recordings, useful when recording in dark environments. 1. Select V-camera setup ISO/gain gain. 2. Select V-camera setup high sensitivity mode on. Will appear to the left of the gain value on the screen. Notes. If you set an assignable button to gain boost, A119, you can press the button to switch between a gain value of 36.0 dB and the currently set gain value. The gain boost setting, A119, can be used when V-camera setup ISO/gain is set to gain and automatic gain control is disabled. If ISO/gain is set to ISO, high sensitivity mode will end. When high ISO speeds or gain levels are set, the picture may flicker slightly. When high ISO speeds or gain levels are set, bright red, green or blue dots may appear on the screen. In such case, use a faster shutter speed, A58, or select a lower ISO speed or gain value. When the ISO speed or gain level is changed, some noise may appear momentarily on the screen. Do not adjust the ISO speed/gain level while recording. When infrared recording is activated, A112, the ISO speed/gain mode will be set to automatic gain control. You can use the V-camera setup shockless gain setting to make the change in the image look smoother when you switch gain settings. When an RCV100 remote controller is connected to the camera, you can adjust the gain value corresponding to the current position of the ISO/gain switch, L, M, or H, with the remote controller's ISO/gain I/I buttons. ND filter 62 ND filter. Using the ND filter allows you to open up the aperture to obtain a shallower depth of field even when recording in bright surroundings. You can also use the ND filter to avoid the soft focus caused by diffraction when using small apertures. You can select one of 3 density levels. You can also perform this function remotely using browser remote on a connected network device, A183. Press the ND filter plus or button to select the desired ND filter setting. Repeatedly pressing ND filter plus button will change the ND filter setting in the following order: 1/4, 1/16, 1/64 ND filter off. The ND filter button cycles through the settings in reverse order. You can also adjust the setting using direct touch control, A50. Notes about the ND warning: in the following cases, if the ND filter setting is not appropriate, an ND warning icon will start flashing next to the ND filter setting star. The gain value is too high, the aperture is too closed, the shutter speed is too fast. Change the ND filter setting by pressing the ND plus button when is flashing, or ND button when is flashing, until the ND warning icon disappears to mitigate the effect of such conditions. When the RCV100 remote controller is connected to the camera, the RCV100's ND filter indicator will flash as well. Depending on the scene, the color may change slightly when turning the ND filter on/off. Setting a custom white balance, A68, may be effective in such case. Changing the ND filter setting using the RCV100 remote controller. When the remote controller is connected to the camera, you can use the remote controller's ND button in the same way as the camera's ND filter plus button for the following settings: 1/4, 1/16, and 1/64. The corresponding ND filter indicator, 1 to 3, will illuminate .63 aperture. You can affect the brightness of your recordings or change the depth of field by adjusting the aperture. You can also perform this function remotely using browser remote on a connected network device, A183. Automatic aperture: the camera adjusts the aperture automatically. Push auto iris, momentary automatic aperture. During manual aperture, press the push auto iris button or other control to temporarily adjust the aperture automatically. Manual aperture: adjust the aperture value manually. Automatic aperture: set the iris switch to A. The camera will automatically adjust the aperture to obtain optimal exposure. The selected aperture value will appear at the bottom of the screen with an E icon next to it. Notes: you can use the V-camera setup AE response setting to change how quickly the aperture changes during automatic aperture mode. When the camera is set to full auto mode, the aperture will be adjusted automatically. When infrared recording is activated, it will be maintained open at the maximum aperture. Momentary automatic aperture: push auto iris. During manual aperture, you can press the push auto iris button to have the camera temporarily take control and adjust the aperture automatically for an optimal exposure. Once set the iris switch to M2, press and hold the push auto iris button. The camera will automatically adjust the aperture to obtain optimal exposure. As long as you hold the button pressed down, an E will appear on the screen next to the aperture value. When you release the button, the aperture value will be set automatic aperture mode will end and the E icon will disappear. Aperture 64 manual aperture, changing the aperture value 1. Set the iris switch to M2. Select V camera setup iris increment 1/3 stop or 1/4 stop. You can also set V camera setup fine increment to on to use the smallest iris increment. Nevertheless, the aperture value displayed on the screen will be the closest value in the selected increment scale. 3. Turn the iris ring to adjust the aperture. You can also use direct setting mode, A51, or direct touch control, A50, to adjust the aperture value. Notes: the aperture value set manually will not be saved when you switch to automatic aperture, with the exception of full auto mode. Instead, the aperture value set automatically by the camera will be used when you switch back to manual aperture control. If the ND filter is activated, the picture may become dark when you set a high aperture value. In such case, press the ND filter button and readjust the aperture. If you set an assignable button to Iris Plus or Iris A117, you can press the button to respectively open up or close down the aperture. You can use the V camera setup iris ring direction setting to change the direction of the adjustment when you turn the iris ring. You can operate the iris ring even the camera's controls are locked, A15. When an RCV100 remote controller is connected to the camera, you can adjust the aperture with the remote controller's iris dial. At default settings, turn the dial right to open up the aperture and left to close the aperture. You can also switch between automatic and manual aperture with the remote controller's auto iris button. Iris limit: you can set an iris limit to prevent the aperture from closing below the diffraction limit of the lens, f11. Select V camera setup iris limit on. The maximum aperture value is f11, the diffraction limit of the lens. If iris limit is set to off, you can fully close the aperture, closed. Aperture values that exceed the diffraction limit will appear in gray. Notes: using aperture values that exceed the lens's diffraction limit may affect the recorded image, for example, causing diffraction blur. Using aperture values within the lens's diffraction limit, iris limit, is recommended. 65 Aperture exposure compensation, AE shift: use AE shift to compensate the exposure that was set using automatic aperture, in order to darken or lighten the image. You can also perform this function remotely using browser remote on a connected network device, A183. 1. Select V camera setup AE shift. 2. Select the desired option. The camera will attempt to adjust the exposure accordingly. You can select one of 17 AE shift levels from 2.0 to plus 2.0. Notes: if you set an assignable button to AE shift plus or AE shift, A117, you can press the button to adjust the AE shift level. Light metering mode: select the light metering mode to match the recording conditions. Using the appropriate setting will help achieve a more appropriate exposure level. 1. Select V camera setup light metering. 2. Select the desired option. The icon of the selected mode, or, appears on the screen. Options: backlight, suitable when recording backlit scenes. Standard, averages the light metered from the entire screen, giving more weight to the subject in the center. Spotlight, use this option when recording a scene in which only a certain part of the picture is lit, for example, when the subject is lit by a spotlight. Notes: if you set an assignable button to backlight or spotlight, A117, you can press the button to toggle between the respective light metering mode and standard. Adjust the exposure again if you change the metering mode after adjusting the exposure manually. The exposure bar: the eye on top of the exposure bar indicates optimal exposure without any shift, AE plus or minus 0. The scale markings indicate the deviation from optimal exposure in 1/2 EV increments. The indicator inside the exposure bar represents the current exposure. When the difference between current and optimal exposure is larger than plus or minus 2 EV, the indicator will flash at the edge of the exposure bar. Optimal exposure will change depending on the light metering mode used. Optimal exposure AE plus or minus 0 current exposure white balance 66 white balance. The camera uses an electronic white balance process to calibrate the picture and produce accurate colors under different lighting conditions. The camera offers the following methods to set the white balance, which can be set to one of the white BAL switch positions, and switched as desired asterisk. You can also perform this function remotely using browser remote on a connected network device, A181. Asterisk available modes will depend on the white BAL switch position, as shown in the table below. Auto white balance, AWB. The camera automatically adjusts the white balance to the optimal level. Preset white balance, set the white balance to 1/4, daylight, or E, tungsten lamp. You can further adjust the color temperature, K, value and the color compensation, CC, value, which adjusts the color along the green/magenta gradation. Color temperature, allows you to set the color temperature between 2000 K and 15,000 K, and further adjust the color compensation, CC, value. Custom white balance, you can use a gray card or white object with no pattern to establish the white balance and set it to one of two custom white balance positions, AA or AB. When recording under fluorescent lights, we recommend setting the custom white balance. Available white balance methods by white BAL switch position notes. When the camera is set to full auto mode, the white balance will be adjusted automatically, AWB. When infrared recording is activated, the white balance cannot be adjusted. The white balance and color matrix tuning settings in the custom picture file, A127, take precedence over the white balance set with these procedures. You can use the V-camera setup shockless WB setting to make the transition look smoother when you change the white balance settings. When an RCV100 remote controller is connected to the camera, you can adjust the white balance with the remote controller's AWB button, A button, B button, preset button, and A button. The color temperatures displayed on the screen are approximate. Use them only as a reference. White balance method. White BAL switch position preset preset white balance, U color temperature, U custom white balance U67 white. Auto white balance, AWB, the camera constantly adjusts the white balance automatically to achieve an appropriate level. The camera will adjust the white balance if the light source changes. Set the AWB switch to on. The color temperature and CC value set automatically by the camera will appear at the bottom of the screen next to the icon. Notes. Custom white balance may provide better results in the following cases: changing lighting conditions, close UPS subjects in a single color, sky, sea, or forest, under mercury lamps and certain types of fluorescent and LED lights. You can use the V-camera setup AWB response setting to change how quickly the white balance changes in auto white balance, AWB, mode. If you set an assignable button to AWB lock, A117, you can press the button to lock the current white balance settings set automatically by the camera. To cancel the lock, press the button again, resume auto white balance mode, or select a different white balance setting. Color temperature preset white balance 1. Set the AWB switch to off and the white BAL switch to preset. 2. Select a white balance mode using the direct setting mode, A51. Select the 1/4 or E icon, preset white balance, or the icon, color temperature setting. To apply the stored preset setting or color temperature as is, the rest of the procedure is not necessary. To adjust the color temperature or CC value, continue the procedure. You can also use direct touch control, A50. Alternatively, you can also use the V-camera setup white balance preset setting to select in advance the white balance mode assigned to the white BAL switch's preset position. 3. Press the A button. The camera will enter the direct setting mode with the color temperature highlighted in orange. To adjust the CC value, push the joystick right. You can also adjust the color temperature or CC value using direct touch control, A50. 4. Select the desired value. The selected color temperature and CC value will be set and will appear on the screen next to the white balance icon. White balance 68 Notes you can use the V-camera setup ctemp increment setting to change the units for the color temperature increment to mired, 5 mired increments, or Kelvin, 100 Kelvin increments. Even when mired is selected, the color temperature is converted to and displayed in kelvins. Changing this setting may change the white balance setting. If you set an assignable button to 1/4 daylight, E tungsten or E Kelvin, A117, you can press the button to change the white balance mode temporarily. Press the button again to return to the previous white balance mode. Custom white balance 1 Set the AWB switch to off and the white BAL switch to either A or B to apply the stored custom white balance setting as is. The rest of the procedure is not necessary. To set a new custom white balance, continue the procedure. 2. Point the camera at a gray card or white object so that it fills the center of screen. Use the same lighting conditions you plan to use when recording. 3. Press the A button. The AA or AB icon will flash quickly. Make sure the gray card or white object fills the center of the screen until the procedure is completed. Once the icon stops flashing, the procedure is completed. The setting is retained even if you turn off the camera. Notes readjust the custom white balance if the light source or ND filter setting changes. Very rarely and depending on the light source, A may keep flashing, it will change to a slow flashing. In that case, change the subject brightness and adjust the custom white balance again. After the camera registers a custom white balance, the color temperature or CC value may appear in gray. This indicates that the value registered exceeds the range of values that can be displayed, but the white balance is correctly calibrated and you can continue shooting. White balance mode / setting adjustment range color temperature, K, color compensation, CC, value 1/4, daylight, 4,300 K to 8,000 K, 5 to +5 E, tungsten lamp, 2,700 K to 3,700 K E, color. Temperature, 2,000 K to 15,000 K, 20 to +20 69 Zoom you can operate the zoom using the zoom ring or one of the zoom rockers, grip / handle. In addition, you can choose the digital teleconverter function from the menu. Selecting the zoom mode, select V-camera setup digital zoom desired option. Options: teleconverter 6.0x, teleconverter 3.0x, teleconverter 1.5x. The camera processes the image digitally to multiply the focal length by a factor of 6, 3, or 1.5, respectively. Digital 300x. The camera uses the optical zoom up to 15x and processes the image digitally after that, up to a magnification ratio of 300x. Advanced 30x1, the camera can zoom up to 30x combining the optical zoom and additional processing. Off, the camera uses only the optical zoom up to 15x. When you operate the zoom, a zoom indicator 2 will appear on the screen that shows the approximate zoom position. The white area 3 of the zoom bar indicates the optical zoom range and the blue area 4 indicates the digital zoom range. One only available when the resolution is 1920 x 1080 or 1280 x 720. However, it cannot be used if a shooting frame rate higher than 60 is set during slow and fast motion recording mode. 2. You can use the scent monitoring setup custom display 1 zoom indicator setting to set the zoom indicator to a numerical display. 3. Even for options that combine optical zoom and additional processing like advanced 30x. 4. Only when digital 300x is selected. Notes you can attach the TLU58 teleconverter or WAU58 wide attachment, both optional, to the camera, A73. You can even use the TLU58 in combination with the digital zoom and digital teleconverter functions. When an optional RCV100 remote controller is connected to the camera, if digital zoom is set to one of the digital teleconverter options, the remote controller's extender indicator will light up. When V-camera setup conversion lens is set to WAU58, Digital zoom and the digital teleconverter options are not available. Zoom 70. Selecting the zoom controls. Set the zoom switch to the desired position to select the physical controls you want to use to operate the zoom. Options ring. Turn the zoom ring to zoom. Rocker. Other controls use the grip zoom rocker, handle zoom rocker, or a remote controller connected to one of the camera's remote terminals to zoom. Using the zoom ring, the zoom speed depends on how fast you turn the zoom ring. 1. Set the zoom switch to ring. 2. Turn the zoom ring to zoom. The zoom ratio is determined by the position of the zoom ring. Notes: when you change the zoom switch's position from rocker to ring, the camera will zoom automatically to the focal length indicated by the current position of the zoom ring. You can operate the zoom ring even when the camera's controls are locked. A15. Using the zoom rockers. Set the zoom switch to rocker to operate the zoom using one of the zoom rockers, grip/handle. You can also use the RCV100 remote controller or a commercially available remote control connected to the remote terminal. 71. Zoom. Using the grip zoom rocker, you can set the zoom speed of the grip zoom rocker using the menu. With the user setting, you can even customize a zoom speed pattern depending on how much you press on the zoom rocker. A71. 1. Set the zoom switch to rocker. 2. Move the zoom rocker toward T to zoom out, wide angle, and toward S to zoom in, telephoto. Grip zoom rocker, approximate zoom speeds, time required to zoom end to end, asterisk. When the zoom speed is too fast, it will be more difficult to focus while zooming. Setting the zoom speed, grip zoom rocker. 1. Select V camera setup zoom speed level desired option. The selected speed will also be applied to the grip zoom rocker. 2. Select V camera setup grip zoom speed desired option. Options: constant, select one of 16 constant zoom speeds. Variable zoom speed, zoom faster the harder you press. User setting, you can customize up to 3 zoom speed patterns, setting the desired zoom speed for 5 individual pressure levels. You can, for example, set a pattern where the grip zoom rocker only starts to react beyond a certain pressure level to avoid accidental zoom operations. If you select constant 3, select V camera setup constant speed desired option. If you select user setting 3, select V camera setup user setting desired option, user 1 to user 3, OK. If you use the preset zoom speed pattern as is, the rest of the procedure is not necessary. Otherwise, continue the procedure to customize the zoom speed pattern. V camera setup zoom speed level grip zoom speed constant speed low normal high constant 1, slowest, 4 ' 38 sec 2 ' 1 ' 16, fastest, 4.2 sec 2.6 sec 0.9 sec asterisk variable, 4.2 sec, 4 minutes 38 sec 2.6 sec, 2 minutes 0.9 sec asterisk, 1 min zoom 72 4 select edit. 5. Input the desired value, A27. Select reset to reset the zoom speed pattern to its preset values. Notes: when zoom speed level is set to high, the zoom motor's operation sound may be picked up in the recording. When V camera setup, high speed zoom is set to on and the grip rocker's zoom speed is set to variable. When you operate the zoom in record standby mode, the actual zoom speed will be as if the overall speed level were set to high. While recording, the zoom speed level will follow the speed level set in the menu. Using the handle zoom rocker, you can set the zoom speed of the handle zoom rocker using the menu. 1. Set the zoom switch to rocker. 2. Move the zoom rocker toward T to zoom out, wide angle, and toward S to zoom in, telephoto. Handle zoom rocker, approximate zoom speeds, time required to zoom end to end, asterisk. When the zoom speed is too fast, it will be more difficult to focus while zooming. Setting the zoom speed, handle zoom rocker. 1. Select V camera setup zoom speed level desired option, A71. The selected speed will also be applied to the handle zoom rocker. 2. Select V camera setup handle zoom speed desired option. Using a remote controller, you can operate the zoom using the RCV100 remote controller or a commercially available remote control connected to the camera. The zoom speeds will differ depending on the controller. V camera setup handle zoom speed. V camera setup zoom speed level low normal high 1, slowest, 4 minute 38 sec 2 minute 1 minute 16, fastest, 4.2 sec 2.6 sec 0.9 sec asterisk 73 zoom speeds for remote operation. Notes when an RCV100 remote controller is connected to the camera, you can zoom with the remote controller's zoom dial. At default settings, turn the dial right to zoom in and left to zoom out. Using conversion lenses, you can use the following conversion lenses with this camera. For details on the following accessories, refer to their respective instruction manuals. Select V camera setup conversion lens desired option. The image stabilization method, minimum focusing distance and the approximate distance to the subject displayed on the screen will change depending on the conversion lens selected. Select off if you do not intend to use a conversion lens. Notes vignetting may occur when taking wide-angle shots with the optional TLU58 teleconverter. Accessory zoom speed. RCV100 remote controller, optional, variable speed. The greater the angle at which the RCV100's zoom dial is rotated from the center, the faster the zoom. Commercially available remote controls. If the remote control does not support variable zoom, constant zoom speed. If the remote control supports variable zoom according to the remote control settings. Browser remote fastest constant zoom speed. See the values under 16 in the previous table. Conversion lens focal length factor minimum focusing distance TLU58 teleconverter approx. 1.5x approximate 130 cm 4.3 feet throughout the zoom range. WAU58 wide attachment approximate 0.8x approximate 60 cm 2.0 feet throughout the zoom range. Focus 74 focus. The camera offers the following ways to focus. The camera incorporates dual pixel CMOS AF technology for advanced autofocus performance. You can also adjust the focus remotely using browser remote on a connected network device, A183. Note that some methods allow you to operate aspects of the focus by touching the LCD screen. Manual focus, turn the focus ring on the lens to adjust the focus. The camera offers several focus assistance functions, A75, to help you focus more accurately when using the manual focus. Push AF. While using manual focus, you can have the camera focus automatically as long as you hold the push AF/MF button pressed down. Push MF. While using autofocus, you can adjust the focus manually while the push AF/MF button is pressed. AF boosted MF asterisk, focus manually most of the way and let the camera finish focusing automatically. Continuous AF asterisk, the camera automatically keeps the subject inside the AF frame in focus at all times. Face AF asterisk, the camera automatically detects a person's face, focuses on it and can track it if that person moves. Eye detection, the camera detects and focuses automatically on a person's eyes, and tracks the subject if it moves. Tracking, after you select a subject, the camera keeps focusing it and tracks the subject if it moves. Asterisk you can also use the AF lock function, A117, to lock the current focus. Manual focus manually using the focus ring on the lens. Once set the focus switch to MA appears on the left of the screen. 2 turn the focus ring to adjust the focus. Notes you can use the focus ring to adjust the focus. If the camera was initially in autofocus mode, it will return to autofocus mode after you adjust the focus manually. You can change the direction of the adjustment and the sensitivity of the response of the focus ring using the V camera setup focus ring direction and focus ring response settings. If you operate the zoom after focusing, the focus on the subject may be lost. If you focus manually and then leave the camera with the power turned on, the focus on the subject may be lost after a while. This possible slight shift in focus is a result of the internal temperature rising in the camera and lens. Check the focus before resuming shooting. When an RCV100 remote controller is connected to the camera, you can adjust the focus with the remote controller's focus dial. At default settings, turn the dial right to focus farther and left to focus nearer. You can operate the focus ring even when the camera's controls are locked. A15.75 focus using the focus assistance functions. In order to focus more accurately, you can use the following focus assistance functions: dual pixel focus guide, an on-screen guide that shows you if the selected subject is in focus; peaking, which creates a clearer contrast by emphasizing the outlines of the subject; and magnification, which enlarges the image on the screen. You can use peaking and the focus guide or peaking and magnification simultaneously for greater effect. Focus guide: the focus guide gives you an intuitive visual indication of the current focus distance and the direction and amount of adjustment necessary to bring the selected subject into full focus. When used in combination with face detection, A79, the guide will focus on the face of the person detected as the main subject. When eye detection, A79, is activated, the guide will focus on the eyes of the person detected as the main subject. When using direct touch control, A50, you can touch the focus guide switch to turn on/off the focus guide. Alternatively, you can use the A assistance functions focus guide setting or an assignable button set to focus guide, A117, to display/hide the focus guide. To touch the point where you want to focus on the LCD screen to move the focus guide. You can also use the joystick to move the focus guide's frame. Press the cancel button to return the focus guide's frame to the center of the screen. 3. Adjust the focus manually as necessary. The focus guide turns green when the subject is correctly focused or very close to it. Notes: when the aperture is adjusted automatically, it may take a moment until the focus guide frame's response stabilizes after operating the zoom. With subjects or in situations where autofocus may not work well, A78, the focus guide may not work correctly. The focus guide cannot be used in the following cases while the focus is being adjusted automatically using AF boosted MF or continuous AF. When V-camera's setup digital zoom is set to teleconverter 6.0x or teleconverter 3.0x, or to digital 300x and the zoom ratio is in the digital zoom range. When V-camera's setup conversion lens is set to an option other than off. While the color bars are displayed when the gamma setting in the custom picture file, A125, is set to PQ or HLG. When infrared recording is activated when zooming. In focus, in green, focus farther, large adjustment, focus farther, small adjustment, focus closer, small adjustment, focus closer, large adjustment, cannot determine adjustment. Focus 76. Peaking: the camera offers 2 peaking levels. 1. Press the peaking button. The peaking icon, J or K, appears on the left of the screen and outlines, contour lines, in the image that are in focus will be shown highlighted. Press the button again to turn off peaking. You can use direct touch control, A50, to turn the peaking 1/peaking 2 setting on/off. Alternatively, you can use one of the A assistance functions peaking settings to turn the peaking function on/off separately on the respective terminal/output destination. To select A assistance functions peaking 1 or peaking 2. Magnification 1. Press the MAGN button. Caret appears on the left of the screen and the center of the screen. Asterisk is magnified 2 times. The orange frame displayed on the top right of the screen, magnification frame, shows the approximate part of the image shown magnified. Press set to change the magnification in the following order: 2x, 5x, 10x. 2. If necessary, use the joystick to move around the magnification frame and check other parts of the image. You can also drag your finger across the LCD screen to move the frame. Press the cancel button to return the magnification frame to the center position. Press the MAGN button again to cancel the magnification. Asterisk if one of the AF frames or a face detection frame is displayed on the screen, the area around the active frame will be magnified instead. Notes about peaking/magnification: you can use the A assistance functions peaking 1 and peaking 2 settings to set the color, gain, and frequency of the 2 peaking levels independently of each other. You can use the A assistance functions man Output setting to select where to show the magnified image. The assistance functions will not affect your recording's magnification, will be turned off if you change the video configuration, A53, the V camera setup IS mode setting, or if you turn slow and fast motion recording on/off while the magnified image is displayed. Peaking/magnification are not available while the color bars are displayed. When A assistance functions B and W during MAN is set to on, the screen is set to black and white during magnification. The assistance functions will not affect your recording's .77 focus push AF/MF. When the focus mode is set to manual, the camera will focus automatically as long as you hold the push AF/MF button pressed down. During autofocus, holding the push AF/MF button pressed down will allow you to adjust the focus manually. Press and hold the push AF/MF button. Notes: the focus will be locked when face AF is set to face only and a face has not been detected, or when AF mode is set to AF boosted MF and the focus is outside of the automatic adjustment range. AF boosted MF. In this focus mode, you can focus manually most of the way and let the camera finish focusing automatically. This is very convenient when you want to make certain that high-resolution clips, 4K and higher, are in sharp focus. Additionally, with this mode, if the camera cannot evaluate how to adjust the focus, it will not perform unreliable focus adjustments. This results in a more stable focusing operation overall than with continuous AF. 1. Set the focus mode switch to automatic. Ad appears on the screen. 2. Select V camera setup AF mode AF boosted MF. When the focus is in the manual adjustment range, a yellow AF frame will appear on the screen. 3. If necessary, change the type and position of the AF frame, A79. 4. Turn the focus ring to adjust the focus. Focus manually to bring the subject closer into focus. When the focus enters the automatic adjustment range, the focus frame will turn white and the camera will then finish focusing automatically. While the focus stays within the automatic adjustment range, the camera will keep the subject in focus automatically. Focus 78 continuous AF. The camera will focus automatically on a subject inside the main area of the image, approximately 80% of the screen's length and height. 1. Set the focus mode switch to automatic. Ad appears on the screen. 2. Select V camera setup AF mode continuous. If AF frame is set to either large or small, a white AF frame will appear on the screen. When you are using face AF, a white detection frame will appear around the face of the person who has been determined to be the main subject. 3. If necessary, change the type and position of the AF frame, A79. Notes about the autofocus, AF, functions. The point where the camera focuses may change slightly depending on shooting conditions, such as subject, brightness and zoom position. Check the focus before resuming shooting. Autofocus may take longer in the following cases: when the frame rate set in the video configuration is 29.97p, 25.00p or 23.98p. You can change various aspects of the autofocus function with the following settings: V camera setup AF speed. To set the AF speed, the speed at which the focus is adjusted, to one of 3 levels. V camera setup AF response. To set the responsiveness of the autofocus function to one of 3 levels. The autofocus settings cannot be used in the following cases: when V camera setup digital zoom is set to teleconverter 6.0x or teleconverter 3.0x. When V camera setup conversion lens is set to either TLU58 or WAU58. When the gamma setting in the custom picture file, A125, is set to PQ or HLG. When infrared recording is activated. Autofocus may not work well on the following subjects or in the following cases. In such case, focus manually when using small apertures when subjects at different distances appear in the picture. When the gamma curve component of the gamma/color space setting in the custom picture file, A125, is set to an option other than BT.709 normal or BT.709 standard. Reflective surfaces, subjects with low contrast or without vertical lines, fast moving subjects through dirty or wet windows, night scenes, subjects with a repetitive pattern. 79. Focus changing the AF frame type and Position: you can change the type and position of the AF frame that appears on the screen, except for the face detection/tracking frame, while using one of the autofocus functions. 1. Select V camera setup AF frame position desired option. 2. Select V camera setup AF frame desired option. Options for AF frame position selectable: you can move the AF frame by touching the desired point on the LCD screen. You can also use the joystick. 4 directions. Press the cancel button to return the AF frame to the center of the screen. Center frame: a fixed AF frame appears at the center of the screen. Options for AF frame whole area *, no AF frame is displayed. The camera focuses automatically on a subject at the center of the screen. Large standard AF frame size. Smaller AF frame size, about 1/3 the standard size. * only available when V camera setup AF mode is set to continuous. Notes: you cannot change the type and position of the AF frame in the following cases: when V camera setup digital zoom is set to teleconverter 6.0x or teleconverter 3.0x. When V camera setup digital zoom is set to digital 300x and the zoom position is in the digital zoom range. When V camera setup conversion lens is set to either TLU58 or WAU58. When the gamma setting in the custom picture file, A125, is set to PQ or HLG. While the color bars are displayed when infrared recording is activated. Face detection: when the face detection function is activated, the camera will detect people's faces. When there are a number of people in the picture, one person will be determined to be the main subject. The camera will keep tracking the main subject even when it moves. It is also possible to track the eyes of the main subject, eye detection, and adjust the brightness automatically. Face detection AE. You can use face detection with one of the autofocus functions to let the camera focus on the main subject automatically, Face AF. You can use the focus guide to adjust the focus on the main subject manually. You can also change the main subject. 1. Select V camera setup face DET and tracking on. 2. Select V camera setup face AF desired option when a face is not detected. Face priority, or face only AF, will appear on the screen. Continue to step 5 if eye detection or face detection AE are not required. 3. Select V camera setup eye detection on. 4. Select V camera setup face detection AE on. Focus 85. Point the camera at a person. All detected faces will have a face detection frame. The main subject will be indicated with a face detection frame with small arrows, white when autofocus is active, gray or yellow * during manual focus. If eye detection is enabled, a frame will appear on the eyes of the main subject. Push the joystick, left/right, to select a different person as the main subject. When eye detection is enabled and both eyes have been detected, you can push the joystick, left/right, to select either eye. During continuous AF, the camera will keep focusing on the main subject's face/eyes. If you use face detection together with the tracking function, the camera will be able to track the selected main subject more reliably. When you touch a subject on the LCD screen, tracking will be activated and the face detection frame will change to a double frame tracking frame. This is better if you want to track a subject when it is difficult to keep seeing their face. *AF boosted MF within manual adjustment range. Options: face priority, the camera focuses according to the AF mode currently selected. Face only, the camera locks the focus. Face AF operation by AF mode. Notes: typical examples of faces not correctly detected: faces extremely small, large, dark, or bright in relation to the overall picture; faces that are turned to the side, at a diagonal, partially hidden or upside down. Face detection AF, tracking and eye detection cannot be used in the following cases: when the shutter speed used is slower than 1/30th, 59.94 Hz system recordings, 1/25th SEC, 50.00 Hz recordings, or 1/24th SEC, 59.94 Hz recordings with a 23.98p frame rate, except when slow and fast motion recording mode is activated. When slow and fast motion recording mode is activated with a frame rate lower than 24p. When V camera setup digital zoom is set to digital 300x and the zoom ratio exceeds 60x. When V camera setup digital zoom is set to teleconverter 6.0x. When infrared recording is activated. Face detection AE cannot be used in the following cases: when shutter speed, ISO speed/gain and aperture are set to manual. When the light metering mode is set to spotlight. The camera may mistakenly detect the faces of non-human subjects. In such case, turn face detection and tracking off. If you set an assignable button to face DET and tracking, eye detection, face AF or face detection AE, A117, you can press the button to adjust those settings. V camera setup AF mode and focus operation. V camera setup face AF face priority face only face detected no face detected face detected no face detected continuous autofocus AF boosted MF within the automatic adjustment range. Focus on the detected face, focus on the subject inside the AF frame, focus on the detected face. Manual focus AF boosted MF within the manual adjustment range, yellow AF frame, manual focus 81. Focus tracking a specific subject. You can have the camera track other moving subjects that are not faces and also combine the tracking function with one of the autofocus functions to let the camera focus on the desired subject automatically. When AF mode is set to continuous and AF frame is set to whole area, touch the desired subject on the LCD screen. A double frame pound, tracking frame, is displayed and the camera will start tracking the selected subject. Press the cancel button to remove the frame and cancel the tracking. If tracking fails, will be displayed. Select the desired subject again. When AF frame is set to whole area, large or small one, set an assignable button to tracking, A117. 2. Press the assignable button. The subject selection mark I will appear on the screen. Press the assignable button again or the cancel button to end the subject selection mode. 3. Touch the desired subject on the LCD screen. The eye mark changes to a double frame pound, tracking frame, and the camera will start tracking the selected subject. You can also use the joystick, 4 directions, to place the center of the eye mark on the desired subject and then press set. If the tracking failed, the eye mark will turn red momentarily. Select the subject again. The subject selected for tracking becomes the target for autofocus functions. 4. Press set or the button assigned to tracking. The camera stops tracking and returns to subject selection mode. Press the cancel button to end the tracking function and return the camera to the focus mode that was used previously. Notes: the camera may start tracking the incorrect subject if there is another subject in the picture with similar color/pattern characteristics. In that case, select the desired subject again. Tracking cannot be used in the same cases in which face detection AF and eye detection cannot be used, A80. Focus limit and macro shooting. By default, the camera's focus range allows macro shooting. You can activate the focus limit to restrict the focus range. The focus range, 1 cm, 0.39 inches, at full wide angle, 2, will be limited to 60 cm 2 feet 2, throughout the entire zoom range. Select V camera setup focus limit on. Image stabilization 82. Image stabilization. You can use the image stabilizer to compensate for camera shake and achieve steadier shots. Select an IS mode that best fits your needs. When you are stationary and zooming in on far subjects using high zoom ratios, it is possible to compensate for a high degree of camera shake by using powered IS. Dynamic ISA. Dynamic IS compensates for a higher degree of camera shake, such as when shooting while walking, and is more effective as the zoom approaches full wide angle. Standard ISA. Standard IS compensates for a lower degree of camera shake, such as when shooting while remaining stationary, and is suitable for shooting natural-looking scenes. Powered ISE. Powered IS is most effective when you are stationary and zooming in on far subjects using high zoom ratios, the more you approach the telephoto end. This mode is not suitable for tilting and panning shots. 1. Select V camera setup IS mode desired option. Press the button assigned to IS mode to turn switch between IS modes, A117. 2. Select V camera setup image stabilizer on. The A or A icon appears on the screen. Select off instead to turn off the image stabilization, for example, when recording with the camera mounted on a tripod. If you set an assignable button to image stabilizer, A117, you can press the button to turn this setting on/off. 3. If a higher level of image stabilization is required, press the powered IS button. E appears on the left of the screen. Press the button again to return the camera to the IS mode set in the menu. Alternatively, you can also use the V camera setup powered IS setting to turn powered IS on and off. Notes: if the degree of camera shake is too high, the image stabilizer may not be able to compensate fully. When using dynamic IS, the edges of the picture may be adversely affected, ghosting, artifacts and or dark areas may appear, when compensating for a high degree of camcorder shake. The screen will turn black momentarily when you switch between dynamic IS and standard IS or vice versa. You cannot switch between dynamic IS and standard IS while recording. When using dynamic IS, the angle of view will be narrower. 83 On-screen markers, zebra patterns, and false color. On-screen markers, zebra patterns and false color. Using on-screen markers allows you to make sure your subject is correctly framed and is within the appropriate safe area. Zebra patterns help you identify areas that are overexposed. The false color overlay allows you to check if the exposure is correct. You can display the assistance overlays independently on the screen, SDI out terminal and HDMI out terminal. The assistance overlays will not affect your recordings. Displaying on-screen markers. The camera offers several on-screen markers. You can display multiple on-screen markers simultaneously and select their color individually. Center marker displays a small marker that indicates the center of the screen. You can select the shape of the center marker. Horizontal marker, vertical marker, displays a horizontal or vertical line to help you compose level shots. Grid marker displays a grid that allows you to frame your shots correctly, horizontally and vertically. Aspect marker indicates various aspect ratios by displaying border lines or by masking the image outside the selected aspect ratio. The aspect ratio can be set freely by the user. Safe area marker displays a margin from the edges of the image, using border lines or by masking the image, to indicate the action safe area, text safe area, etc. You can select the core area used as the basis for calculating the safe area and a percentage, relative to the side length or area. User marker 1, user marker 2, displays up to 2 rectangular frames whose size and position you can set freely and independently of each other. 1. Select A assistance functions desired markers setting on. On-screen markers will be displayed on the corresponding video output. You can also use direct touch control, A50, to turn the markers, LCD setting on/off. If the respective setting is set to off, on-screen markers will not be displayed on the corresponding video outputs even if individual markers are configured. 2. Select the marker, S, you wish to display and configure them with the following procedures. You can display multiple markers simultaneously. Center marker / horizontal marker. / vertical marker / grid marker. 1. Select A assistance functions center marker, horizontal marker, vertical marker or grid marker. Desired marker color. Select off to turn off the marker. Aspect guide 4:3 center marker, cross 1 type, grid marker horizontal marker safe area 88% by side length user marker, 100, 250, vertical marker on-screen markers, zebra patterns, and false color 8424 center marker only, select A assistance functions center marker type desired marker shape. Aspect marker 1 select A assistance functions aspect marker desired marker color or transparency of the masked area. Select off to turn off the marker. 2 select A assistance functions marker aspect ratio desired option. 3 for custom only, select A Assistance Functions Marker Custom ASP Ratio and enter the aspect ratio using the data entry screen, 827. Notes aspect markers will not be displayed in the following cases. When the marker aspect ratio is set to 16:9. The same applies when the aspect ratio is set manually to 1.78:1 using custom safe area marker. The safe area is displayed using a border line or by masking the image outside the safe area. It can be calculated as a percentage of the total frame area or as a percentage of the width/height. 1. Select A Assistance Functions Safe Area Marker Desired Marker Color/Mask Opacity Level. Select Off to turn off the marker. 2. Only when an aspect marker is already activated, select A Assistance Functions Basis for Marker Safe Area Whole Picture or Selected Aspect Marker. 3. Select A Assistance Functions Marker Safe Area Desired Percentage. You can select the margin as a percentage of the total frame area, or as a percentage of the width/height, side length. User markers. You can set two individual user markers, user marker 1 and user marker 2, and adjust their color, size, and position separately. 1. Select A Assistance Functions User Marker 1 or User Marker 2 Desired Marker Color. Select Off to turn off the marker. 2. Select A Assistance Functions User Marker 1 Size or User Marker 2 Size and enter the width W and height H using the data entry screen, 827. 3. Select A Assistance Functions User Marker 1 Position or User Marker 2 Position and enter the X and Y coordinates using the data entry screen, 827. Notes. You can choose the on-screen display level to turn off all other on-screen displays, leaving only the markers, A46. If you set an assignable button to one of the markers settings, A117, you can press the button to turn the markers on and off on the corresponding video output. 85 On-screen markers, zebra patterns, and false color displaying zebra patterns. The camera has a zebra pattern function that shows black and white diagonal stripes over areas that are overexposed. There are two types of zebra patterns and you can display both simultaneously. Zebra 1 lets you identify areas within a certain range, plus or minus 5% of a specified level from 5% to 95%, while Zebra 2 lets you identify areas that exceed a specified level, from 0% to 100%. 1. Press the Zebra button to activate the selected Zebra pattern on all monitoring devices at once. You can also use Direct Touch Control, A50, to turn the Zebra LCD setting on/off. Alternatively, you can press an assignable button set to one of the zebra settings, A117, to turn the zebra pattern overlay on and off on the corresponding video output. 2. Select A Assistance Functions Zebra Desired Option. 3. Select A Assistance Functions Zebra 1 Level or Zebra 2 Level Desired Option. Displaying false color in camera mode, you can display the false color overlay to check the brightness levels as different colors. Select A Assistance Functions Desired False Color Setting On. You can also use Direct Touch Control, A50, to turn the false color LCD setting on/off. Alternatively, you can press an assignable button, A117, set to one of the false color settings to turn the false color overlay on and off on the corresponding output destination. Notes. You can use the A Assistance Functions False Color Index setting to check an index of the colors used in the false color overlay. When the look file registered to the custom picture file is active, the color displayed might not be that of the correct brightness level. Color meaning red, white clipping, yellow just below white clipping, pink 1 stop over 18% gray, green 18% gray, medium gray, blue just above black clipping, purple black clipping. Zebra 1 Zebra 2 Setting the time code 86 Setting the time code. The camera generates a time code signal and records it with the recorded clips. The time code signal can be output from the SDI out terminal, time code terminal or HDMI out terminal. Depending on the frame rate used, you may be able to select between a drop frame and non-drop frame time code signal, A87. The default mode varies depending on the country/region of purchase and, though the time code display style is different for DF and NDF, in this section the NDF display style is used for simplicity's sake. Selecting the timecode mode, you can select the camera's timecode mode. Select B System Setup Timecode Mode Desired Option. Options preset. The timecode starts from an initial value you can select in advance. The default initial timecode is 00:00:00:00. See the following procedures to select the timecode running mode and set the initial timecode. The camera will read the selected card and the timecode will continue from the last timecode recorded on the card. The timecode runs only while recording, so clips recorded consecutively on the same card will have continuous timecodes. Setting the timecode running mode. If you set the timecode mode to preset, you can select the timecode running mode. Select B System Setup Timecode Run Desired Option. Options Rec Run. The timecode runs only while recording, so clips recorded consecutively on the same card will have continuous timecodes. Free Run. The timecode starts running the moment you confirm the selection and keeps running regardless of the camera's operation. Setting the timecode's initial value. If you set the timecode mode to preset, you can set the initial value of the timecode. 1. Select B System Setup Set Timecode Change. The timecode setting screen appears with an orange selection frame indicating the hours. To reset the timecode to 00:00:00:00, select Reset instead. If the running mode is set to free run, the timecode will be reset the moment you confirm the selection and keep running continuously from 00:00:00:00. To enter the initial timecode using the data entry screen, A27. If the running mode is set to free run, the timecode will start running from the selected timecode the moment you confirm the selection. 87. Setting the timecode, selecting drop or non-drop frame when the frame rate is set to 59.94p, 59.94i or 29.97p, you can select between a drop frame, DF, or non-drop frame, NDF, timecode, depending on how you plan to use your recordings. With all other frame rates, the timecode is set to non-drop frame, NDF, and cannot be changed. Select B System Setup Timecode DF/NDF Desired Option. The timecode display will change depending on the setting. When you select DF, the timecode will appear as 00:00:00.00. When you select NDF, it will appear as 00:00:00:00. About the timecode display, a letter may appear next to the timecode depending on the setting/status. Refer to the following table. Notes. The frames value of the timecode runs from 0 to 23, frame rate set to 23.98p, from 0 to 24, frame rate set to 25.00p, 50.00i or 50.00p, or from 0 to 29, all other frame rates. When slow and fast motion recording, frame recording, or interval recording are activated, you cannot select the free run running mode. Conversely, when pre-recording is activated, free run is set automatically and cannot be changed. When slow and fast motion recording, frame recording, or interval recording are activated, the timecode signal will not be output from any of the terminals. When you mix drop frame and non-drop frame timecodes, there might be a discontinuity in the timecode at the point where the recording starts. When you are using the free run running mode, the timecode will continue running as long as the built-in backup battery has some charge left, even if you disconnect all other power sources. If you set an assignable button to timecode, A117, you can press the button to open the B System Setup menu page with the timecode settings. Letter description R. The timecode mode is set to Regan. P. The timecode mode is set to preset and the running mode is set to rec run. F. The timecode mode is set to preset and the running mode is set to free run. E. The timecode signal is coming from an external source. No letter timecode during clip playback. Setting the timecode 88. Setting the user bit. You can set a user bit composed of the date or the time of recording or an identification code consisting of 8 characters in the hexadecimal system. There are 16 possible characters, the numbers 0 to 9 and the letters A to F. The user bit is recorded with clips and can be output from the SDI out terminal, timecode terminal or HDMI out terminal. It can be used freely to categorize and manage recordings or to keep additional information about them. 1. Select B system setup user bit type setting, date or time. If you select time or date, the rest of the procedure is not necessary. 2. Select change. To reset the user bit to 00000000, select reset instead. 3. Enter the user bit using the data entry screen, 827.89 synchronizing with an external device. Synchronizing with an external device, you can use the camera's timecode terminal to synchronize this camera's timecode to an external signal. Using the same external timecode signal with multiple cameras allows you to set up a multi-camera recording. You can output the timecode signal from this camera to other cameras. You can also output the timecode signal from the SDI out terminal to an editing device, while recording or during playback, so the editor can create video with the same timecode. Additionally, you can use the G-Lock/Sync terminal to synchronize this camera's video signal to a reference signal * from an external video device, Genlock synchronization, or to send out the camera's video signal as a synchronization reference signal * as reference video signal, input signal. For Genlock synchronization, you can use an analog blackburst or tri-level HD signal. The reference video output signal will be a tri-level HD signal. Connecting an external device. When synchronizing a timecode signal, connect the external device to the timecode terminal on the camera. When synchronizing with a reference video signal, connect the external device to the G-Lock/Sync terminal. Be sure to set either terminal to input or output in advance. Connection diagram. Timecode signal input. An external SMPTE standard LTC timing signal received from the timecode terminal can be recorded as the timecode. The user bit of the external timing signal can also be recorded with clips. Before connecting the device, set the timecode terminal to input with the procedure below and make sure the timecode running mode is set to free run, A86. 1. Select B system setup TC in/out in. 2. To record the external signal's user bit, select also B system setup user bit recording mode external. Notes. Synchronize the camera's timecode with an external timecode signal that matches the camera's system frequency. Use a 24-frame timecode signal when the frame rate is set to 23.98p, a 25-frame timecode signal when it is set to 25.00p, 50.00i or 50.00p, and a 30-frame timecode signal for other frame rates. Standard TC signal timecode terminal BNC cable, commercially available, G-Lock/Sync terminal reference video signal synchronizing with an external device. 90. When a suitable external timecode signal is received, the camera's own timecode will be synchronized to it and the synchronization will be maintained even if you disconnect the cable from the timecode terminal. If the external timecode signal is incorrect or there is no input signal, the internal timecode set in the camera will be recorded instead. When an external timecode signal is received, the DF/NDF selection will follow the external timecode signal settings. If an external timecode signal is input while pre-recording is activated, there might be a discontinuity in the timecode of the pre-recorded clip. Performing any of the following actions while the cable is not connected will cause the synchronization to be disrupted. The correct timecode will be restored once you reconnect the cable. Turning the camera on/off, switching to media mode, changing the video configuration. Timecode signal output. The timecode signal output from the timecode terminal will be a SMPTE standard LTC timing signal. The user bit will also be output. Select B system setup TC in/out out. Notes about the user bit output. The user bit set by the user, A88, will be output. In media mode, the user bit is not output from the timecode terminal. The timecode and user bit will not be output when slow and fast motion recording, frame recording, or interval recording are activated. Reference video signal input, Genlock synchronization. When a reference sync signal, analog blackburst or tri-level signal, is input through the G-Lock/sync terminal, the phases of the camera's V and H sync will automatically be synchronized to it. The phase difference between the external Genlock signal and the camera is initially set to 0. The H phase can be adjusted within the range of approximately plus or minus 0.4 H1. Select B system setup G-Lock/sync term Genlock input. 2. Select B system setup Genlock adjustment change. To reset the adjustment value to 000, select reset instead. 3. Enter the H phase adjustment value using the data entry screen, A27. Notes when a suitable Genlock signal is input, the Genlock synchronization stabilizes after approximately 10 seconds. When a suitable Genlock signal is detected, the U icon will flash at the top right of the screen. When the camera locks on the external Genlock signal, the icon will stay on. If the external Genlock signal is incorrect, the synchronization may not be stable. In such case, the recorded time code may be incorrect. 91 Synchronizing with an external device reference video signal output. After changing the function of the G-Lock/sync terminal, you can use the camera's video signal as a reference sync signal, tri-level HD signal, to synchronize an external device to this camera. The reference signal's configuration is determined by the video output configuration of the SDI out terminal and other menu settings. 1. Select B system setup G-Lock/sync term. HD sync output. 2. If necessary, select B system setup sync scan mode P or PSF. Recording audio 92 Recording audio. The camera features the following options for audio recording and playback. You can record audio using an external microphone/line-in device, input terminal/mic terminal, or the built-in microphone. The audio signal will be output with the video signal from the SDI out terminal or HDMI out terminal. You can record the audio signal on an external recorder. Available audio recording formats: *audio for proxy clips is recorded in AAC format. Audio settings and recorded audio channels. Video format / audio recording function. Audio format: codec sampling frequency, bit depth, number of audio channels, bit rate. Video recording XF of linear PCM 48 kHz 24 bit 4 channels 4.5 Mbps MP4 * linear PCM 16 bit 4 channels 3 Mbps AAC 16 bit 2 channels 256 kbps. Audio recording for slow and fast motion recording, 48 kHz 24 bit 4 channels 4.5 Mbps for second. Card recording functions, 8 kHz 16 bit 1 channel 128 kbps. Menu settings: recorded audio channels / audio sources. Audio input selection: 1. CH2 input 1 CH1 CH2 CH3 CH4 CH1 /CH2 CH3 /CH4 input terminals 2 input 2 input 1 terminal input 2 terminal input 1 terminal input 2 terminal input terminals 2 input 1 input 1 terminal input 1 terminal input 1 terminal input 2 terminal input terminals mic terminal input 2 input 1 terminal input 2 terminal MIC terminal L mic terminal R input terminals mic terminal input 1 terminal input 1 terminal MIC terminal L mic terminal R input terminals mic terminal input 1 terminal MIC terminal L plus R mic terminal L mic terminal R input terminals built-in mic input 2 input 1 terminal input 2 terminal built-in microphone L built-in microphone R input terminals built-in mic input 1 input 1 terminal input 1 terminal built-in microphone L built-in microphone R input terminals built-in mic input 1 terminal built-in microphone L plus R built-in microphone L built-in microphone R input terminals multifunction. SHU3 input 2 input 1 terminal input 2 terminal audio terminal commercially available accessory audio terminal commercially available accessory input terminals multifunction. SHU3 input 1 terminal input 1 terminal audio terminal commercially available accessory audio terminal commercially available accessory mic terminal input terminals 2 mic terminal L mic terminal R input 1 terminal input 2 terminal mic terminal L mic terminal, R, mic terminal, L, mic terminal, R, mic terminal built-in mic terminal, L, mic terminal, R, built-in microphone, L, built-in microphone, R, mic terminal multifunction SHU 3, mic terminal, L, mic terminal, R, audio terminal, commercially available accessory. Audio terminal, commercially available accessory, 93 recording audio 1 menu items under the audio setup menu. 2 changes to input terminals, camera, when a commercially available accessory compatible with the multifunction SHU is attached. 3 only displayed when a commercially available accessory compatible with the multifunction SHU is attached. Notes: you can press the audio status button to display only the audio setup status screens. On these status screens, A206, you can check the input source selected for each audio channel and other audio related settings. Audio format for MP4 clips: select the audio recording format for MP4 clips, primary clips or sub-recording clips. Select A recording/media setup main audio format, MP4, or audio format, MP4, desired option. Recording audio using the second card recording functions: you can record audio in a lighter format as a WAV file by using the second card recording functions. The main clip's 4-channel audio is converted into 1-channel audio at a lower audio quality. 1. Insert an SD card into both card slots, A for the main clip, B for the audio file. 2. Select A recording/media setup recording mode normal recording. 3. Select A recording/media setup second card rec functions main/audio rec. 4. Press the rec button to start recording. The main clip and the WAV file will be recorded simultaneously. Built-in mic input terminals: 2, built-in microphone, L, built-in microphone, R, input 1 terminal, input 2 terminal, built-in mic terminal, built-in microphone, L, built-in microphone, R, mic terminal, L, mic terminal, R, built-in mic, built-in microphone, L, built-in microphone, R, built-in microphone, L, built-in microphone, R, built-in mic multifunction SHU 3, built-in microphone, L, built-in microphone, R, audio terminal, commercially available accessory, audio terminal. Commercially available accessory, menu settings: recorded audio channels/audio sources, audio input selection 1 ch2 input 1 ch1 ch2 ch3 ch4 ch1/ch2 ch3/ch4 recording audio 94 Notes about audio recorded using the second card recording functions. Audio is recorded with the following settings: 8 kHz, 16-bit, 1 channel. If video cannot be recorded due to a card problem, audio will also not be recorded. However, video will be recorded even if audio cannot be recorded due to a card problem. Audio will not be recorded if there is an existing WAV file with the same file name. A maximum of 999 WAV files can be recorded. Connecting an external microphone or external audio input source to the camera. To each of the input terminals you can attach commercially available microphones or analog line-in sources with an XLR connector. To the mic terminal you can attach commercially available condenser microphones with a 3.5 mm stereo mini plug/external line input device, analog. Using the supplied microphone holder, you can fix external microphones with a diameter of 19 mm to 20 mm. 1. To use a microphone, loosen the microphone lock screw, open the microphone holder and insert the microphone. 2. Tighten the lock screw, and put the microphone cable through the cable clamp. 3. When using any input terminal, set the corresponding input 1/input 2, audio source selection, switch to a position other than mic plus 48V. 4. Plug the microphone/external line-in device cable into the desired input terminal, or the mic terminal. Microphone lock screw, mic terminal cable clamp, input 1 terminal, input 1/input 2 switches, audio source selection, input 2 terminal 95 recording audio. Important: do not connect or disconnect microphones and other audio devices from any input terminal when the corresponding input, audio source selection, switch is set to the mic plus 48V position. This may damage the camera and/or device. Selecting the input type for the input 1/input 2 terminals, change the position of the corresponding input, audio source selection, switch according to the audio device connected to the input 1/input 2 terminals. Set the input 1 or input 2 switch to line, mic, or mic plus 48V. When using the input terminals to record to only one channel, use the input 1 terminal. Important when using a microphone that requires phantom power, turn off the camera and set the respective input switch to mic. After connecting a plus 48V compatible microphone, switch the input switch to mic plus 48V. Do not connect or disconnect microphones and other audio devices from any input terminal when the corresponding input, audio source selection, switch is set to the mic plus 48V position. This may damage the camera and/or device. Selecting the input type for the mic terminal, change the setting according to the audio device connected to the mic terminal. 1. Select audio setup mic input. 2. Select mic, with power supply, mic, or line. Select mic, with power supply, to supply plug-in power to the external microphone. Important: connecting an external microphone that does not require power supply when mic input is set to mic, with power supply, may damage the microphone. Selecting the audio input source for audio channels, you can select the audio input source that will be recorded on CH1/CH2 or CH3/CH4, independently for each pair of audio channels. For details, refer to the audio settings and recorded audio channels table, A92. 1. Select audio setup audio input selection CH1/CH2. 2. Select input terminals, mic terminal or built-in mic. 3. Select the audio input for CH3/CH4, in the same way. When a commercially available accessory compatible with the multifunction shoe is attached, choose from input terminals, camera, mic terminal, built-in mic or multifunction shoe. 4. Press cancel to return to the previous screen. Recording the same analog audio input to two channels. If you set the audio input source to input terminals, by default, each audio input is recorded to a separate audio channel, input 1 to CH1 and input 2 to CH2. If necessary, audio from the input 1 terminal can be recorded on both CH1 and CH2 as backup. In that case, you can adjust the audio recording levels of each channel independently of each other. It is also possible to record audio to CH2 from the mic terminal or the built-in microphone. Recording audio 96. Select audio setup CH2 input desired option. Options: input 2 records audio to each channel separately. Audio input into input 1 is recorded to CH1, while audio input into input 2 is recorded to CH2. Input 1 audio input into input 1 is recorded to both channels. Audio input into input 2 will not be recorded. Mic terminal records audio to each channel separately. Audio input into input 1 is recorded to CH1, while audio input into the mic terminal is recorded to CH2. Built-in mic records audio to each channel separately. Audio input into input 1 is recorded to CH1, while audio input into the built-in microphone is recorded to CH2. Audio is recorded as L+R. Adjusting the audio recording level. You can adjust the audio recording level of the input terminals, mic terminal, or the built-in microphone. You can select automatic or manual audio level adjustment, and adjust each audio channel separately, or adjust CH1/CH2 or CH3/CH4 together, when the audio level adjustment of the audio channels is linked, A97. For the built-in microphone, the adjustments of CH1 apply to both CH1/CH2. Automatic audio level adjustment for CH1, CH2, or CH1/CH2. Set the audio level switch of the desired channel to A, automatic, to let the camera automatically adjust that channel's audio level. CH1/CH2 audio level switches 97. Recording audio manual audio level adjustment for CH1, CH2, or CH1/CH2. You can set the audio level manually from, to +18 dB. 1. Set the audio level switch of the desired channel to M, manual. 2. Turn the corresponding audio level dial to adjust the audio level. For reference, the 0 corresponds to, 5 corresponds to 0 dB, and 10 corresponds to plus 18 dB. As a guideline, adjust the audio recording level so that the audio level meter on the screen will go to the right of the 18 dB mark, 1 mark right of the 20 dB mark, only occasionally. Audio level adjustment for CH3, CH4, or CH3/CH4. 1. Select audio setup, audio rec level CH3, audio rec level CH4, or audio rec level CH3/CH4, automatic or manual. If you selected automatic, the rest of the procedure is not necessary. If you selected manual, continue the procedure to set the audio recording level. 2. Select audio setup CH3 level, CH4 level, or CH3/CH4 level. Adjust the audio level as needed. For reference, 0 corresponds to, 50 corresponds to 0 dB, and 100 corresponds to plus 18 dB. As a guideline, adjust the audio recording level so that the audio level meter on the screen will go to the right of the 18 dB mark, 1 mark right of the 20 dB mark, only occasionally. Notes: we recommend using headphones when adjusting the audio level. If the input level is too high, audio may become distorted even if the audio level indicator shows an appropriate level. If you set an assignable button to audio level indicator, A117, you can press the button to turn the on-screen audio level indicator on and off. Automatic level control, ALC, linking the audio level adjustment of CH1/CH2 or CH3/CH4 when both CH1 and CH2 are set to the mic terminal or input terminals and to the same type of analog audio source, external line input or external microphone. You can use the audio setup CH1/CH2 ALC link or CH3/CH4 ALC link setting to link the audio level adjustment of both channels. When linked, different channels can be adjusted together. Adjust the CH1 audio levels to affect both CH1 and CH2, or adjust the CH3 audio levels to affect both CH3 and CH4. Audio peak limiter. You can set audio setup input limiter to on to activate the audio limiter to limit the amplitude of audio input signals when they start to distort. CH1/CH2 audio level dials. CH1/CH2 audio level switches. Recording audio 98 advanced audio input settings. You can adjust the audio input settings for the input terminals, mic terminal, and the built-in microphone. The corresponding menu settings become available only when the respective audio input is active and the following conditions are met. Input terminals, input 1 or input 2 switch is set to mic or mic plus 48V mic terminal. Mic input is set to mic or mic, with power supply. Microphone sensitivity, input terminals, you can select the external microphone sensitivity. Select audio setup input 1 mic trimming or input 2 mic trimming desired sensitivity level. You can select one of 5 sensitivity levels from 12 dB to plus 12 dB. Microphone attenuator, input terminals, you can activate the external microphone's attenuator, 20 dB. Select audio setup input 1 mic ATT or input 2 mic ATT on. External microphone characteristics, input terminals, select audio setup input 1 mic low cut or input 2 mic low cut desired option. Options off for recording audio under usual conditions. LC1 for recording mainly people's voices. LC2 for reducing the background sound of wind when recording outdoors in windy surroundings, for example, on a beach or close to buildings. Note that when you use this setting, some low-frequency sounds may be suppressed along with the sound of wind. Changing the reference level of the external microphone, input terminals, you can select the reference level of each input terminal, -18 dB or -20 dB. Select audio setup input reference level desired option. Built-in microphone sensitivity, you can adjust the sensitivity according as necessary. Select audio setup built-in mic sensitivity desired option. Options: normal for recording audio under usual conditions. High for recording audio at a higher volume, +6 dB. Microphone attenuator, mic terminal / built-in microphone, you can activate the microphone attenuator for an external microphone or the built-in microphone, 20 dB. Select Audio Setup Mic ATT or Built-in Mic ATT on point 99. Recording Audio Microphone Characteristics, Mic Terminal/Built-in Microphone. You can choose the microphone characteristics as necessary. Select Audio Setup Mic Low Cut or Built-in Mic Low Cut. Desired option. Options off, for recording audio under usual conditions. LC1, for recording mainly people's voices. LC2, for reducing the background sound of wind when recording outdoors in windy surroundings, for example, on a beach or close to buildings. Note that when you use this setting, some low-frequency sounds may be suppressed along with the sound of wind. Monitoring the audio with headphones. Connect headphones with a 3.5mm stereo mini plug to the Times headphone terminal to monitor the recorded audio. Notes: you can adjust the headphone volume with the Audio Setup headphone volume setting. If you set an assignable button to Headphones Plus or Headphones, A117, you can press the button to adjust the headphone volume without using the menu. Times, headphone, terminal colors bar/audio reference signal 100 colors bar/audio reference signal. You can have the camera generate color bars and a 1 kHz audio reference signal and output them from the following terminals. Color bars: the camera offers SMPT, EBU, and ARIB color bars. 1. Select V camera setup color bars on. The selected color bars appear on the screen. 2. Select V camera setup color bar type. Desired option. The selected color bars will be recorded when you press the rec button. Turning off the camera or changing the operating mode to media mode will deactivate the color bars. Notes: if you set an assignable button to color bars, A117, you can press the button to turn the color bars on/off. Color bars cannot be displayed in the following cases: when slow and fast motion recording is activated, when the gamma curve component of the gamma/color space setting in the custom picture is set to an option other than BT.709 WideDR, BT.709 normal or BT.709 standard. Audio reference signal: the camera can output a 1 kHz audio reference signal with the color bars. Select Audio Setup 1 kHz tone. Desired option. You can select one of 3 audio levels, 12 dB, 18 dB, 20 dB, or off to turn off the signal. The reference signal will be output at the selected level when you display the color bars, and will be recorded when you press the rec button. LCD monitor viewfinder: SDI out terminal, HDMI out terminal. Times, headphone, terminal color bar. Audio reference signal, UUU101 video scopes. The camera can display a simplified waveform monitor or a vector scope to check your recordings. The selected video scope is displayed on the screen and can be output to other monitoring devices as well. Displaying a video scope: 1. Select A assistance functions WFM function waveform monitor or vector scope. 2. Press the WFM button. You can also use direct touch control, A50, to turn the waveform monitor/vector scope setting on/off. Alternatively, you can use one of the A assistance functions WFM settings to turn the video scope on/off separately on the desired video output. By default, the video scope will appear on the right of the screen. Using the A assistance functions waveform settings or vector scope settings position settings, you can select where to display it, left or right side. Notes: the video scopes will also be displayed while adjusting a custom picture file's image settings, A122. Changing the waveform monitor settings: 1. Select A assistance functions waveform settings type. Desired option. If you selected an option other than select line, skip to step 4. 2. Select A assistance functions waveform settings. Select line. 3. Enter the Y coordinate of the red horizontal line to display using the data entry screen, A27. The available range of lines that can be selected depends on the vertical component of the resolution used. For 2160, 0 to 2158, in 2 line increments, for 1080, 0 to 1079, in 1 line increments, for 720, 0 to 719, in one-line increments. 4. Select A assistance functions waveform settings vertical scale for HDR desired option. Select the Y-axis, luminance, scale used when displaying the waveform monitor of an HDR image. 5. Select A assistance functions waveform settings gain 1x or 2x. If you selected 1x, the rest of the procedure is not necessary. 6. Select A assistance functions waveform settings Y position desired option. The display range of the waveform monitor's Y-axis will be reduced by half. Select the minimum luminance value, in percent, shown on the Y-axis. Options for type line, sets the waveform monitor to line display mode. Line plus spot, the waveform of the area in the red frame is displayed in red on top of the line mode waveform. Select line, the selected horizontal line, in red, will be displayed along with its waveform. RGB shows 3 side-by-side waveforms in an RGB parade. YPBPR shows 3 side-by-side waveforms in a YPBPR parade. Options for vertical scale for HDR IR displays the video scope in IR units. PQ/HLG for HDR PQ images, displays the video scope in nits, CD/M2, and the narrow ranges, video range, waveform monitor. For HDR HLG images, the Y-axis shows a relative index value between 0.0 and 1.0. Notes if the waveform monitor is activated and the /custom picture edit /file knee point setting is changed, when you display the waveform monitor, a horizontal line will appear indicating the luminance, Y, level * corresponding to the knee point. * when a look file registered to the custom picture file is active, the displayed luminance may not be at the correct level. When the waveform monitor's Y-axis is set to display in IR units, a level of 10-bit 64 maps to 0 IR and 10-bit 940 maps to 100 IR, regardless of the custom picture settings. Changing the vector scope settings. 1. Select A assistance functions vector scope settings type desired option. 2. Select A assistance functions vector scope settings gain 1x or 2x. Options for type normal displays the usual vector scope. Spot the color signal of the area in the red frame is displayed in red on top of the normal mode waveform. 103 Adding marks to clips in camera mode. Adding marks to clips in camera mode. When the main recording format is set to XF605, while recording, you can add shot marks, to flag an important shot or frame. After recording a clip, you can add an OK mark, $, or check mark, %, to help you identify particular clips. You can add and delete marks also in media mode, A139, 139. Marks cannot be added to proxy clips. Adding a shot mark while recording. To add a shot mark to a clip while recording, you must set an assignable button to add shot mark in advance. 1. Set an assignable button to add shot mark, A117. 2. While you are recording, press the assignable button at the beginning of the shot you wish to mark. Shot mark will appear briefly and the shot mark will be added to the current frame of the clip. Notes up to 100 shot marks can be added to a single clip. There may be up to a 0.5 second delay from when you press the button to when the camera adds the shot mark. When a clip contains a shot mark, will appear next to the clip's thumbnail in the playback index screen. When pre-recording is activated, you cannot add a shot mark before the rec button is pressed, or during interval recording or frame recording. Adding an $mark or % mark to the last clip recorded. $marks can be used to protect important clips, as clips with an $mark cannot be deleted with the camera. To add a mark in camera mode, you must set an assignable button to add $mark or add % mark in advance. 1. Set an assignable button to add $mark or add % mark, A117. 2. After recording a clip, press the assignable button. $mark or % mark will appear briefly and the selected clip mark will be added to the clip. Notes a clip cannot have both an $mark and a % mark at the same time. When a clip has an $mark or % mark, the respective icon will appear next to the clip's thumbnail in the playback index screen. Using metadata 104. Using metadata, the camera automatically adds metadata to the recorded clips. You can use Canon XF utility to check and search for specific metadata. You can also add news metadata to the recorded clips, A105. Metadata components. 1. User memo files need to be created using the software and saved on an SD card in advance. 2. Only when a GPE2 GPS receiver is connected to the camera. While recording, GPS information is recorded automatically by the camera. 3. GPS information can only be added to clips already recorded. 4. Only in camera mode. 5. Recording data is logged automatically by the camera. Setting a user memo. Created with Canon XF utility. Before you can add a user memo, you must first install Canon XF utility, A156. Next, create the user memo and then save it to an SD card. Once you insert the SD card in the camera and select the user memo, it will be added to clips you record. 1. Use Canon XF utility to save a user memo to an SD card. For details, refer to Managing User Memo Profiles in the Canon XF utility instruction manual. 2. Insert the SD card into the camera's SD card slot. B3. Select AE recording/media setup metadata. Add XML file on. 4. Select A recording/media setup metadata XML file. Format user memo. 5. Select A recording/media setup metadata user memo. Desired user memo file. The Q icon appears on the left of the screen. Only when sent monitoring setup custom display to user memo is set to on. Notes. After you set a user memo, do not remove SD card B while you are recording. If the SD card is removed, the user memo will not be added to the clip. You must set the user memo before you start recording for it to be added to the clips. You cannot change the user memo already added to a clip using the camera, but you can do so with Canon XF utility. Metadata entering content. Checking content. Camera Canon XF utility smartphone application. Camera Canon XF utility smartphone application. User memo, clip title, creator, location, and description. U1, UX information, altitude, latitude, and longitude. U2, U3, U information about the recording, scene and take. U4, U information about camera settings, shutter speed, ISO speed/gain value, etc. 5. U unique material identifiers, UMID country, organization, and user codes based on the SMPTE standard. U, A193, U4, news metadata, A105, UU, U105. Using metadata. Using news metadata when recording, you can add news metadata * to the recorded clips. Using a smartphone, you can check and edit news metadata files. The most recently set news metadata will be prioritized and added. See the following table for details on news metadata settings. * refers to a metadata file compliant with the DPP002 metadata exchange for news recommendation ver. 1.1.1 Notes. News metadata files with file names that exceed 64 characters, extension included, cannot be used. Setting news metadata saved on an SD card. Before setting news metadata, create a news metadata file and save it to an SD card. Once you insert the SD card into the camera, select the news metadata file and start recording. The news metadata will be added to the recorded clips. 1. Save the news metadata file to an SD card. News metadata files should be saved in the /smltag folder of the SD card. 2. Insert the SD card into the camera's SD card slot. B3. Select AE recording/media setup metadata. Add XML file on. 4. Select AE recording/media setup metadata XML file. Format news metadata. 5. Select AE recording/media setup metadata. News metadata. Desired news metadata file saved to the SD card. The selected news metadata file will be saved to the camera. Notes. You cannot change the news metadata already added to a clip using the camera, but you can do so using a smartphone. Setting news metadata edited with the smartphone application. Before setting news metadata, edit the news metadata file using a smartphone application. Connect the camera to a smartphone using the smartphone application, A157, 188, to transfer and save news metadata files from a smartphone to the camera. Once saved to the camera, select the news metadata to be added to the recorded clips. One smartphone, edit the news metadata file with the smartphone application. 2. Connect the camera to a smartphone, A157, 188. 3. Operate the smartphone application to transfer the news metadata file to the camera. 4. Save the news metadata to the camera. News metadata files transferred from a smartphone will be saved automatically to the camera. News metadata entering content checking content camera smartphone application story title, description, keyword, tags, category, contributor, source/originator, copyright holder, restrictions, UUU genre, U language, using metadata 106 automatically, a recording/media setup metadata add XML file will be set to on, and XML file format will be set to news metadata. Only the most recently transferred file can be saved. Resetting news metadata. You can reset the news metadata added to clips. 1. Select AE recording/media setup metadata news metadata reset all. 2. Select OK. Important: when the camera is turned off normally, the news metadata file is saved or a previously saved news metadata is reset. In the case of a power outage or if the power is not terminated normally, the file will not be saved or reset. News metadata saved to the camera will be reset if you select B System Setup Reset All Settings, or if the camera's firmware is updated. Entering slate information about the recording. You can enter scene and take information to help identify the recording later on. 1. Select a recording/media setup metadata scene or take change. 2. Enter the desired text using the keyboard screen, A27. To clear the scene/take information, select Reset instead. 107 Special Recording Modes. Special recording modes. The camera features the following special recording modes. Slow and fast motion recording. This mode allows you to change the shooting frame rate to achieve a slow motion or fast motion effect during playback. Recording audio in WAV format is also possible. Pre-recording. The camera will start recording a few seconds before you press the rec button. This is especially useful when it is difficult to predict when to start recording. Frame recording. The camera will record a predefined number of frames every time you press the rec button. This mode is suitable for recording stop-motion animation. Interval recording. The camera will automatically record a predefined number of frames at a predefined interval. This mode is suitable for recording subjects with little movement, such as natural surroundings or plants. Continuous recording. The camera keeps a continuous recording on the SD card in the second slot, MP4 format only, to avoid any missed shooting opportunities. Slow and fast motion recording. The camera can record using a progressive frame rate, shooting frame rate, that is different from the playback frame rate. Recording a clip with a shooting frame rate higher than the frame rate setting will result in a slow motion effect during playback. Conversely, a lower shooting frame rate will result in a fast motion effect. Sound is not recorded with the clip, but it can be recorded separately as a WAV file. The maximum recording time of a single clip is the equivalent of approximately 6 hours of playback time. You can also use direct touch control to perform this function, A50. Available shooting frame rates. 1. A recording/media setup main rec format. 2. A recording/media setup main resolution. Main recording format. 1. Main resolution 2 bit rate. Available shooting frame rate XFAVC 3840x2160 intra-frame 410 PSU frame rate. Shooting frame rate, slow and fast motion recording, 29.97 p1, 2, 3, 6, 15, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30 25.00 p1, 5, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 26, 28, 30 23.98 p1, 2, 3, 6, 12, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30 main recording format 1 main resolution 2 available shooting frame rate XFAVC 3840x2160. Intraframe 3 U3840x2160 long GOPU 1920x1080 intraframe U1920x1080 long GOPU MP4 3840x2160 U1920x1080 UU frame rate shooting frame rate, slow and fast motion recording, 59.94 p1, 2, 3, 6, 15, 30, 44, 48, 52, 56, 6000, and 90, 120 50.00 p1, 5, 15, 25, 34, 38, 42, 46, 50, 54, 58, 6000, and 75, 100, 120 29.97 p1, 2, 3, 6, 15, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 52, 56, 60 90, 100, and 25.00 p1, 5, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 26, 28, 30, 34, 38, 42, 46, 50, 54, 58, 60 75, 100, 120 special recording modes 1081 air recording / media. Setup main rec format. 2 air recording / media setup main resolution 3 when the bitrate is other than 410 mbps 1 to record audio. Insert an SD card into the card slot where video is not being recorded. 2. Select air recording / media setup recording mode slow and fast motion or SNF clip / audio, wave. Slow and fast motion recording is activated. SNF STBY appears on the screen and the shooting frame rate appears next to the frame rate setting, the playback frame rate. 3. Select air recording / media setup slow and fast frame rate desired frame rate. You can also choose a preset value, half, same or double the playback frame rate. 4. Press the rec button to begin recording. The tally lamp illuminates. SNF STBY changes to SNF UREC while recording. 5. Press the rec button again to stop recording. The clip is recorded on the selected SD card. When SNF clip / audio, wave, is selected, the wave file will be recorded on the SD card where video is not being recorded. The tally lamp goes out and the on-screen display changes back to SNF STBY. 6. Select AE recording / media setup recording mode normal recording to turn off slow and fast motion recording. Notes the shooting frame rate cannot be changed while recording. If you change the system frequency, slow and fast motion recording will be cancelled and the shooting frame rate will be reset to its default value. About the time code when slow and fast motion recording is activated, the time code mode can be set to Regen, or to preset with Rec Run running mode. If the time code running mode was set to free run, the time code running mode will be changed automatically to Rec Run when slow and fast motion recording is activated. When the special recording mode is turned off, the time code running mode will return to its previous setting. The time code signal will not be output from any terminal. Recording wave files audio is recorded with the following settings: 48 kHz, 24-bit, 4 channels. If video cannot be recorded due to a card problem, audio will also not be recorded. However, video will be recorded even if audio cannot be recorded due to a card problem. Audio will not be recorded if there is an existing wave file with the same file name. Audio recording will stop automatically after reaching 60 minutes, video recording will continue. A maximum of 999 wave files can be recorded. Frame rate shooting frame rate, slow and fast motion recording, 23.98 p1, 2, 3, 6, 12, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 52, 56, 60, 72, 96, 100, and 20,109 special recording modes. Pre-recording. When pre-recording is activated, the camera starts recording continuously onto a temporary memory, approximate 3 seconds, so when you press the rec button, the clip will contain also a few seconds of video and audio recorded before you press the button. You can also use direct touch control to perform this function. A50. 1. Select A recording/media setup recording mode. Pre-recording. Pre-STBY appears on the screen. 2. Press the rec button to begin recording. The tally lamp illuminates. Pre-STBY changes to pre-rec while recording. 3. Press the rec button again to stop recording. The clip is recorded. The recorded clip will include a few seconds of video and audio recorded before the rec button was pressed. The tally lamp goes out and the on-screen display changes back to pre-STBY. 4. Select AE recording/media setup recording mode. Normal recording to stop pre-recording. Notes pre-recording will be cancelled if the recording mode is changed. About the time code. When pre-recording is activated, the time code of the clip will start a few seconds before the rec button was pressed. The time code will be recorded with the running mode set to free run. If the time code mode was set to Regan, or to preset with rec run running mode, the time code running mode will be changed automatically to free run when pre-recording is activated. When the special recording mode is turned off, the time code running mode will return to its previous setting. Frame recording mode. Set the number of frames in advance. We recommend operating the camera remotely or stabilizing the camera, for example, on a tripod. Sound is not recorded in this mode. You can also use direct touch control to perform this function. A50. 1. Select AE recording/media setup recording mode. Frame recording. FRM-STBY appears on the screen, with FRM flashing. 2. Select AE recording/media setup frame rec, frame rate desired option. 3. Press the rec button to begin recording. The tally lamp illuminates. FRM-STBY changes to FRM-UREC while recording. The camera automatically records the specified number of frames. 4. Repeat until you finish recording. 5. Select AE recording/media setup recording mode. Normal recording to stop frame recording. Frame recording mode ends and all of the recorded frames are joined together into one clip. The tally lamp goes out and STBY appears on the screen. Special recording modes. 110 Notes frame recording cannot be used simultaneously with slow and fast motion recording, pre-recording, interval recording or continuous recording. Frame recording cannot be used when the frame rate is set to 59.94i or 50.00i. When in use, frame recording will end if the frame rate is set to 59.94i or 50.00i. The number of frames recorded cannot be changed while recording. Some frames at the point the recording was stopped may be recorded and added to the end of the clip. About the time code. When frame recording is activated, the time code mode can be set to Regan, or to preset with rec run running mode. The time code advances by the number of frames recorded every time. If the time code running mode was set to free run or the camera was synchronized to an external time code signal, the time code running mode will be changed automatically to rec run when frame recording is activated. When the special recording mode is deactivated, the time code running mode will return to its previous setting. The time code signal will not be output from the time code terminal, SDI out terminal or HDMI out terminal. Interval recording mode. Set the interval and number of frames in advance. Sound is not recorded in this mode. You can also use direct touch control to perform this function. A50. 1. Select AE recording/media setup recording mode. Interval recording. Int STBY appears at the top of the screen, with int flashing. 2. Select AE recording/media setup interval rec, time interval desired option. 3. Select AE recording/media setup interval rec, Frame rate desired option. 4. Press the rec button to begin recording. The tally lamp illuminates. Int STBY changes to int UREC while recording. The camera automatically records the set number of frames at the specified interval. 5. Press the rec button again to stop recording. The tally lamp goes out and int STBY appears at the top of the screen, with int flashing. 6. Select AE recording/media setup recording mode normal recording to stop interval recording. Notes interval recording cannot be used simultaneously with slow and fast motion recording, pre-recording, frame recording or continuous recording. Interval recording cannot be used when the frame rate is set to 59.94i or 50.00i. When in use, interval recording will end if the frame rate is set to 59.94i or 50.00i. The interval and the number of frames recorded cannot be changed while recording. Some frames at the point the recording was stopped may be recorded and added to the end of the clip. 111 Special recording modes. About the time code. When interval recording is activated, the time code mode can be set to Regen, or to preset with Rec Run running mode. The time code advances by the number of frames recorded every time. If the time code running mode was set to free run or the camera was synchronized to an external time code signal, the time code running mode will be changed automatically to Rec Run when interval recording is activated. When the special recording mode is deactivated, the time code running mode will return to its previous setting. The time code signal will not be output from the time code terminal, SDI out terminal or HDMI out terminal. Continuous recording audio and video are recorded on both cards in this mode, normal recording on SD card A, and continuous recording on SD card B. This function can be used when the main recording format is set to MP4. Video will be recorded in MP4 format and audio will be recorded in linear PCM format. With the exception of step 5, you can also use direct touch control to perform this function. A50. 1. Insert an SD card into each card slot, slot A for normal recording, slot B for continuous recording. 2. Select AE recording/media setup recording mode main/continuous rec. The continuous recording mode is activated and cont appears on the screen next to the SD card B indicator. 3. Select AE recording/media setup continuous recording rec. The tally lamp illuminates and continuous recording starts on SD card B. The on-screen display changes to a cont. 4. Press the rec button to start recording. Normal recording on SD card A starts. If you press the button before step 3, recording will start on both cards. 5. Select AE recording/media setup continuous recording STBY. The tally lamp goes out and recording stops on both cards. The on-screen display changes to cont. 6. Select AE recording/media setup recording mode normal recording to turn off continuous recording. Notes when continuous recording is activated, if recording on SD card B, continuous recording, is not available, normal recording on SD card A will not be possible either. Continuous recording will continue, even if SD card A becomes full. If continuous recording is set to STBY and the main recording format is changed to an option other than MP4, continuous recording will be cancelled. Infrared recording 112 Infrared recording. You can use the infrared mode to record in very dark situations using available infrared light. You can also use the camera's infrared light to make the recordings even brighter, and select the color for the picture, white or green. 1. Set the infrared switch to on and equals appear on the screen. 2. V camera setup IR rec color desired option. 3. To turn on the infrared light, select V camera setup IR light desired option. When the infrared light is on, equals changes to. Options toggle allows you to turn the infrared light on and off using an assignable button. Set an assignable button, A117, to IR light in advance and press the assignable button to turn the infrared light on/off. Always on. The infrared light is always on while the camera is in infrared mode. Always off. The infrared light is always off. Important: depending on usage, recording in infrared mode may constitute an infringement of privacy and publicity rights, as well as a violation of laws or ordinances. Notes when infrared recording is activated, the following changes take place. The camera switches to automatic gain and shutter speed adjustment, the aperture is fixed at maximum aperture, and the ND filter is retracted and cannot be used. The limit for auto mode, light metering, AE shift and white balance settings cannot be used when the camera switches to infrared mode. The autofocus may be activated momentarily and the focus point may change. Check that the focus is correct. Depending on the light source, autofocus may not work well while zooming. In infrared mode, the camera's sensor is considerably more sensitive to near-infrared light. Do not point the lens at strong light or heat sources when infrared recording is activated. If there are such light/heat sources in the picture, we recommend shielding the lens before switching the camera to infrared mode. If you set an assignable button to IR rec color, A117, you can press the button to change the color of the recorded picture. 113 Using the RCV100 remote controller. Using the RCV100 remote controller, you can connect the RCV100 remote controller to the camera in order to control the camera, including advanced recording functions, from a distance. The remote controller lets you turn the camera on, navigate the menus and remotely control the aperture and shutter speed, change picture-related settings like the knee and sharpness, and more. For details on how to connect and use the remote controller, refer to its instruction manual. 1. Turn off the camera and connect the RCV100 remote controller to the camera. 2. Turn on the camera in camera mode. 3. Select B System Setup Remote Term. RCV100, Remote A, or RCV100, Remote B. Options: RCV100, Remote A. Select this option to use the optional RCV100 connected to the camera with the RCV100's remote cable. RCV100, Remote B. Select this option to use the RCV100 connected to an expansion unit with an 8-pin remote cable, all optionals. Standard, select this option to use commercially available remote controls. Standard plus RCV100, select this option to use a commercially available remote control, connected to the Remote A terminal, simultaneously with an optional RCV100, connected to the Remote B terminal. Notes when the camera is set to full auto mode, A42, settings related to the aperture, gain, shutter speed, and white balance, except for R gain and B gain in the custom picture's white balance settings *, cannot be changed using the remote controller. * When infrared recording is activated, even the white balance R and B dials will have no effect on the camera. RR10 or RR100 8-pin remote cable, optional, remote cable, supplied with the RCV100, recording remotely using a new protocol compatible device. 114 Recording remotely using a new protocol compatible device. You can connect a device compatible with the new protocol to the camera in order to control the camera from a distance. 1. Turn off the camera and connect the new protocol compatible device to the camera. 2. Turn on the camera in camera mode. 3. Select B System Setup Remote Term. New protocol, Remote B, new protocol compatible device. 115 Web camera function. Web camera function. You can connect the camera to a computer using a USB cable, and use the camera as a web camera, with compatible software. Only video can be recorded while using this function. For more details about supported operative systems or software tested for use with the camera, visit your local Canon website. For more details, refer to the computers and the USB cables instruction manuals. Video output configuration. 1. Select B System Setup USB, Type-C, Mode Video Output, UVC. 2. Connect the camera to a computer. 3. Open the desired compatible software on the computer. 4. When the connection ends, disconnect the USB cable from the camera. Notes: this function cannot be used simultaneously with the browser remote function, A179, XC protocol, A186, still image recording or during IP streaming. Video format resolution frame rate motion JPEG 1024x57630 fps, maximum, USB terminal computer USB cable web camera function 1164 117 customization assignable buttons. The camera offers a number of assignable buttons to which you can assign various function. Assign often used functions to the buttons you find most convenient to personalize the camera to your needs and preferences. You can find 11 assignable buttons on the camera's body, and 4 assignable buttons on the RCV100 remote controller, RCIP100 remote camera controller, browser remote, and remote camera control application. In most cases, the names of the buttons printed on the camera and accessories also indicate their default settings. Changing the assigned functions can be set separately in camera mode and media mode. 1. Press the menu button and, while holding it pressed down, press the assignable button whose function you wish to change. A list of available functions appears. You can also select the appropriate menu setting from the various pages of the assignable buttons menu. 2. Select the desired function. The selected function will be assigned to the selected button. Assignable buttons 118. 3. If you selected user setting, select the menu setting you want to register. The selected menu setting will be assigned to the selected button. User selected settings will be indicated with the icon in the assignable buttons menu. 4. Press the assignable button to use the assigned function as described in the following table. Notes: you can check the assignable button status screens, A205, to see what functions are currently assigned to each button. You can reset only the functions assigned to the assignable buttons, without affecting other camera settings, with the B System Setup Reset Assignable Buttons function. All the assignable buttons will return to their default function. When you select assignable buttons linked to camera enable, the functions assigned to assignable buttons 1 to 4 on the camera can also be assigned to assignable buttons 1 to 4 of the RCV100, RCIP100, browser remote, and remote camera control application. Assignable functions whose names include a video output destination, LCD, terminal name, affect only the specified video output, while all indicates the function affects all video outputs. Function name description: CAMERA mode, media mode A, none, no function assigned, the button is disabled. UAF lock 1 turns the AF lock function on /off U. 74 push AF/MF activates the push AF/MF function while the button is held pressed down. U. 77 AF frame toggles the size of the AF frame. U. 79 face detection AE turns face detection AE on /off U. 79 face AF toggles the face AF setting between face priority and face only. U. 79 face dead and tracking turns the face detection and tracking function on /off U. 79 eye detection turns eye detection on /off U. Tracking enters /cancels tracking standby mode. U. 81 focus guide turns the focus guide on /off U. 75 peaking, all, peaking, LCD, peaking, VF, peaking, SDI, peaking, HDMI turns peaking on /off U. 76 magnification, MAN, LCD, MAN, VF, MAN, SDI, MAN, HDMI turns magnification on /off U. 76 digital zoom turns the 300x digital zoom on /off U. 69 teleconverter cycles through the digital teleconverter options in the following order: 6.0x 3.0x 1.5x off U. 69 push auto iris. The camera automatically adjusts the aperture only while the button is held pressed down. U. 63 iris plus, iris opens up / closes the aperture respectively. U. 63 ND plus, ND cycles through ND filter settings in increasing, higher density, or decreasing, lower density, order, respectively. U. 62119 assignable buttons gain boost 1 switches between a gain level of 36.0 dB, gain boost, and the currently set gain level. U. 60 AE shift plus, AE shift compensates the exposure making the image brighter / darker, respectively. U. 65 backlight, Spotlight toggles the light metering mode between standard and backlight/spotlight. Respectively U65IR rec color changes the color of the infrared picture between white and green. U112IR light only when V camera's setup. IR light is set to toggle, turns the camcorder's infrared light on/off. U zebra, all, zebra, LCD, zebra, VF. Zebra, SDI, zebra, HDMI turns zebra patterns on/off. U85 WFM, all, WFM, LCD, WFM, VF, WFM, SDI. WFM, HDMI turns the selected video scope on/off. UU101 LUT, SDI turns on/off the application of the selected LUT. UU150 View Assist, LCD, View Assist, VF, View Assist, HDMI turns View Assistance on/off. U150 False Color, all, False Color, LCD, False Color, VF, False Color, SDI, False Color, HDMI turns the False Color overlay on/off. U85 False Color Index displays/hides the False Color Index screen. White balance enters the direct setting mode with the white balance mode highlighted and ready to be adjusted. U66 set white balance starts the white balance calibration for a custom white balance setting. U68 AWB lock 1 while using auto white balance, AWB, locks the current white balance settings. U67 1/4 daylight, E-tungsten, E-Kelvin changes the white balance mode/setting to the respective option. U66 IS mode toggles between standard and dynamic image stabilization. U82 image stabilizer turns image stabilization on/off. U82 powered IS turns the powered IS image stabilizer on/off. U82 LCD setup opens the scent monitoring setup menu page with the settings for adjusting the LCD screen. UU194 VF setup opens the scent monitoring setup menu page with the settings for adjusting the viewfinder. UU29 OSD output, all, OSD output, SDI, OSD output, HDMI turns the cameras on screen displays on/off. UU147 OSD opacity, all, OSD opacity, LCD, OSD opacity, VF, OSD opacity, SDI, OSD opacity, HDMI changes the transparency level of on-screen displays. UU148 DISP changes the on-screen display level. UU46 OSD orientation, LCD/VF changes the on-screen display direction in the following order: standard, 90 degrees rotation, to the left, 90 degrees rotation, to the right, U48 function. Name description: CAMERA mode, media mode. Assignable buttons. 121 function can be used only by assigning it to a button. Markers, all, markers, LCD, markers, VF, markers, SDI, markers, HDMI turns on-screen markers on/off. U83 color bars turns color bars on/off. U100 flicker reduction turns automatic flicker reduction on/off. U59 IP streaming turns the IP streaming function on/off. U177 photo 1 records a photo. U42 review recording plays back the last clip recorded in camera mode. U49 time code opens the B system setup menu page with the time code settings. U86 add shot mark 1 adds a shot mark 2. The clip. UU103 139 139 add $mark, add %mark adds an $ or %mark to the clip. UU headphones plus, headphones increases/reduces the headphone volume. Respectively. UU136 monitor channels switches the audio channels output from the times, headphone, terminal and the built-in speaker. UU155 audio level indicator turns the audio level meter on/off. UU96 FUNC enters the direct setting mode. U51 slow and fast motion turns slow and fast motion recording on/off. U107 slow and fast frame rate when slow and fast motion recording is activated, highlights the shooting frame rate in order to adjust it. Output, 60/60, 24, FPS 1, output, 60/60, 30 fps 1 when the frame rate is 59.94p or 59.94i, toggles the frame rate of video output terminals and the LCD screen between said frame rates and 24 fps or 30 fps, respectively. Iris enters the direct setting mode with the aperture value highlighted and ready to be adjusted. 64 shutter enters the direct setting mode with the shutter speed highlighted and ready to be adjusted. 58 ISO/gain enters the direct setting mode with the ISO speed or gain value highlighted and ready to be adjusted. 61 status displays the status screens. UU202 audio status displays the audio setup status screens. You can press set to open the audio setup menu. UU206 custom picture opens the /custom picture menu. U121 my menu opens the my menu customized menu. U26 initialize media opens the initialize media submenu. UU32 play /pause pauses and resumes the playback. U133 index /cancel resume 1 returns to the index screen. The next time the clip is selected, playback will start from the beginning. U133 index returns to the index screen. The next time the clip is selected, playback will start from the frame where it stopped. Rec functions as the rec button can only be assigned to assignable button. Camera 11 41 user setting 1 customizable slot. Assign to the button any menu setting you would like to register. Function name description camera mode media mode. A121 custom picture settings the camera lets you change many settings, A125, that control various aspects of the image produced. As a set, all these settings are treated as a single custom picture file. After adjusting the desired settings to your preference, you can save up to 20 custom picture files in the camera or on an SD card, and load them later to apply exactly the same settings, A124. You can also save the custom picture file as part of the metadata recorded with XF605 clips, A124. While recording, accepting pre-recording, and while IP streaming is activated, the custom picture file cannot be selected and some image quality adjustments, including look files, are not available. Selecting custom picture files in camera mode, select a custom picture file to apply its settings to your recordings or to edit, rename, protect, or transfer it. 1. Select /custom picture select /file. The custom picture file selection screen is displayed. Select one of the custom picture files saved in the camera, C1 to C20. To use the settings of a custom picture file saved on an SD card, copy the file to the camera in advance, A124. You can also use direct touch controls AE recording settings, A50. To select the desired file. When you close the menu, the selected custom picture file settings will be applied. Preset picture settings. The following settings are saved to custom picture file C1 to C20 as preset. Custom picture settings. Custom picture files C1 to C8 are protected by default and need to be unprotected before they can be edited. Preset custom picture file gamma/color space color matrix look file characteristics C1, BT.709 normal BT.709 normal/BT.709 video. These settings are appropriate for playback on BT.709 compliant monitors. C2, BT.709 wide DR BT.709 wide DR/BT.709 video. These settings produce a wide dynamic range and are appropriate for playback on BT.709 compliant monitors. C3, BT.709 standard BT.709 standard/BT.709 video. These settings are appropriate for playback on BT.709 compliant monitors, and use a gamma curve that meets ITUR BT.709 standards. C4, Canon log 3 /C. Gamut neutral. These settings use Canon log 3 gamma and require post-production processing. C5, PQ/BT.2020 neutral. These settings use a high dynamic range gamma curve compliant with the PQ standard defined by ITUR BT.2100 C6, HLG/BT.2020 neutral. These settings use a high dynamic range gamma curve compliant with the HLG standard defined by ITUR BT.2100C7, EOS standard BT.709YDR/BT.709 neutral on reproduces the image quality and look of an EOS interchangeable lens DSLR camera with its picture style set to standard. C8, EOS neutral BT.709YDR/BT.709 neutral on reproduces the image quality and look of an EOS interchangeable lens DSLR camera with its picture style set to neutral. Custom picture settings 122 *. The setting is found under /custom picture edit /file. ITUR BT.2100 is a standard for a color bit depth of 10 or 12 bits. When the video configuration is set to one of the 8-bit color options, the gamma curve is approximately equivalent to the standard. Notes about the logarithmic gamma curves, Canon log settings. These gamma curves require post-production processing. They were designed to make the most of the imaging sensor characteristics in order to obtain impressive levels of dynamic range in camera mode. You can apply a LUT to the SDI out terminal's image to use gamma curve settings more suitable for viewing on a monitor screen. There are also other LUTs available that can be applied for processing in post-production. For the latest information on available LUTs, please visit your local Canon website. About changing custom picture related settings using the RCV100 remote controller. When an RCV100 remote controller is connected to the camera, you can press the remote controller's custom picked button to open the /custom picture menu. If a protected custom picture file is selected on the camera, custom picture related settings cannot be changed using the remote controller. Adjusting custom picture related settings using the remote controller will change the settings registered under the currently selected custom picture file. If you want to keep an important custom picture file, copy it in advance to an SD card or select in advance a custom picture file you do not mind changing. Editing a custom picture file settings in camera mode. Adjust the image quality and custom picture file settings to your preference. 1. Select a custom picture file, A121. 2. Select /custom picture edit /file. Select an unprotected custom picture file, A122. 3. Select a setting you wish to change and select the desired option. Refer to available custom picture settings, A125, for details on the various settings. Repeat step 3 for other settings as necessary. When you close the menu, the new custom picture settings will be applied. Renaming custom picture files. 1. Select a custom picture file, A121. 2. Select /custom picture edit /file. Rename input. Enter the desired file name, A27. Protecting custom picture files. Protecting a custom picture file prevents its settings from being accidentally changed. 1. Select a custom picture file, A121. 2. Select /custom picture edit /file. Protect. I will appear next to the file name. To remove the protection, select unprotect instead. C9, user 9 to C20, user 20 BT.709 normal /BT.709 video. These settings use a gamma curve with a very wide dynamic range, optimized for playback on BT.709 compliant monitors. Preset custom picture file gamma /color space color matrix look file characteristics 123 custom picture settings resetting custom picture files 1. Select a custom picture file, A121. 2. Select /custom picture edit /file reset. 3. Select a preset custom picture setting and then select OK. The custom picture file will be reset to the selected values. Look files. You can register 3D LUT files, .cube format, created with Blackmagic Designs DaVinci Resolve or other software as look files in the custom picture file. Using a look file allows you to adjust the video quality of the recorded video. These adjustments apply also to proxy clips, photos, and screen/output terminals. 1. Insert the SD card with the desired look file, .cube format, located in the root directory of the SD card, into the camera's SD card slot. B2. Select a custom picture file. A121, 3. Select / custom picture edit / file gamma / color space desired option. 4. Select / custom picture edit / file look file setup register. The look files in the SD card will be displayed. 5. Select the desired look file. 6. Select the gamma / color space setting to use after the look file is applied. 7. Select OK twice. The selected look file will be loaded and registered to the custom picture file. The image quality adjustments set in the look file will be applied, and will appear on the screen. When disabling the image quality adjustments set in the look file, select / custom picture edit / file look file off. Notes about look files: the camera supports look files, .cube format, in 17 grid or 33 grid format created with Blackmagic Design's DaVinci Resolve or other software. Look files with input ranges outside the 0 to 1 range in the header, LUT_3D_input_ range, are not supported. Look files 2 MB and larger, as well as files with a name containing over 65 characters are not supported. Only the following characters can be used in the file name: numbers 0 to 9, upper / lowercase letters A to Z, underscore, hyphen, period, dot, and a single byte space. If the correct input / output gamma curve and color space conversion are not selected, video will not be output correctly. A look file cannot be used if the gamma / color space, HLG color or over 100% settings are changed after registering it. When the gamma curve component of the gamma / color space setting in the custom picture is set to either BT.709 normal, BT.709 standard or BT.709 wide DR, super white, video signal above 100%, and super black, video signal below 0%, levels of brightness will be clipped. When the video signal contains super white brightness levels, select / custom picture edit / file other functions over 100%, press and then activate the look file to apply it to a signal compressed to 100%. Custom picture settings 124. Deleting a look file. You can delete look files registered in custom picture files. 1. Select a custom picture file, A121. 2. Select / custom picture edit / file look file setup. Delete OK. The look file will be deleted and the image quality adjustments will be reversed to the original settings of the selected custom picture file. Saving a custom picture file. Copying custom picture files. You can copy custom picture files between the camera and SD card. Insert in advance into the camera the card where you want to save your custom picture files or the card that contains the custom picture file you want to load. Copying a file from the camera to an SD card. 1. Select a custom picture file, A121. 2. Select / custom picture save / file copy to SD card B. 3. Select the destination file on the card and then select OK. Select an existing custom picture file to overwrite it or new file to save the settings as a new custom picture file on the card. 4. When the confirmation message appears, press Set. Notes: custom picture files are exclusively compatible for use only with the same camera model. Replacing a file in the camera with a file on an SD card. 1. Select the custom picture file that you wish to replace, A121. 2. Select / custom picture save / file load from SD card B. 3. Select the file with the settings that you want to replicate and then select OK. The file in the camera will be overwritten by the one on the card. 4. When the confirmation message appears, press Set. Embedding the custom picture file in clips, camera mode. When you record in XF605 format after having set custom picture settings, you can have the custom picture file embedded in the metadata and saved along with the clips. When displaying the information screen in media mode, you can check the custom picture settings used at the time of recording. Select A recording / media setup metadata add / file on point 125 custom picture settings available custom picture settings menu items options / additional information gamma / color space 1 Canon log 3 / c gamut Canon log 3 / bt.2020 Canon log 3 / bt.709 PQ / bt.2020 HLG / bt.2020 BT.709 wide DR/BT.2020, BT.709 wide DR/BT.709, BT.709 normal/BT.2020, BT.709 normal/BT.709, BT.709 standard/BT.709 combination of gamma curve and color space settings that affects the overall look and color space of the image. Gamma curve Canon log 3, logarithmic gamma curve that keeps the characteristics of the Canon log setting while expanding its dynamic range. Requires image processing in post-production. PQ, HDR, high dynamic range, gamma curve compliant with the PQ standard defined by ITUR BT.2100** HLG, HDR, high dynamic range, gamma curve compliant with the HLG standard defined by ITUR BT.2100** BT.709 wide DR, gamma curve with a very wide dynamic range. Optimized for playback on BT.709 compliant monitors. Equivalent to the wide DR setting in previous camera models. BT.709 normal, gamma curve that produces darker dark areas and reduced contrast in the highlights, compared to the ITUR BT.709 standard. Optimized for playback on BT.709 compliant monitors. Equivalent to the normal 1 setting in previous camera models. BT.709 standard, gamma curve that meets ITUR BT.709 standards, for playback. On BT.709 compliant monitors. Equivalent to the normal 3 setting in previous camera models. ITUR BT.2100 is a standard for a color bit depth of 10 or 12 bits. When the video configuration is set to one of the 8-bit color options, the gamma curve is approximately equivalent to this standard. Color space C.gamut, color space developed by Canon based on the specific characteristics of the camera's imaging sensor. It covers a wider color gamut than that of BT.2020. BT.2020, color space that meets ITUR BT.2020 standards, which defines parameters for ultra-high definition television, 4K/8K. BT.709, standard color space that is compatible with sRGB specifications. Color matrix 1 neutral, production camera, video. The color matrix affects the overall color tonality of the image. Neutral, reproduces neutral colors. Production camera, reproduces colors more suitable for motion picture production. Video, reproduces colors with a contrast suitable for TV broadcasting. Look file 1 on, off image quality adjustments set in the look file will be applied. Look file setup 1 registers a look file, .cube format, to a custom picture file. Deletes a look file registered to a custom picture file. HLG color 1 BT.2100, vivid changes the quality of color reproduction when using the hybrid log gamma, HLG. This setting is only available when gamma/color space is set to HLG/BT.2020. BT.2100, color reproduction according to ITUR BT.2100 specifications. Vivid, more saturated color reproduction according to the traditional color approach in ITUR BT.2390. Input-output BT.709 normal BT.709 normal/BT.709 standard input-output BT.709 wide DR Canon log 3 BT.709 normal/BT.709 standard BT.709 wide DR HLG PQ BT.709 standard.